This upcoming full moon in Scorpio is a portal into our own personal underworld. If we have what it takes and are willing to delve into the depths, there is something precious ready to be unearthed. And there is a brand new version of ourselves that is ready to be born. This is simultaneously a moon about death and rebirth. Very, very scorpionic. This full moon is about as scorpionic as you can possibly get. And I cannot wait to delve into these energies with you, as well as tell you how this is going to be impacting you personally based on your sun sign or ascendant. So go ahead and stay tuned for that. And if you can't wait to find out how this is going to be impacting you personally, go ahead and check out the timestamp below. That will take you right to your personal zodiac sign. I always recommend looking at your ascendant as well as your sun sign, because your ascendant is going to give you a better understanding of how this might work in relation to your own personal houses in your natal chart, while the sun sign is going to give you more of an overarching understanding of your solar journey, your own hero's journey, and how that is playing out within these energies and collective transits. So let's get right into this and let's get a picture before we get going here of what is happening in the sky. Now, the main energies that we want to understand and focus on during this particular full moon are the moon conjunct Juno, the asteroid rather, that relates to partnership and marriage, opposing the sun conjunct Uranus and the asteroid Hygeia. Now, the sun is at 22 degrees, as is the moon. They're in opposition, as they always are during a full moon. And we have Uranus and Hygeia over there at 27 degrees of Taurus. So it's a loose conjunction, but it's a powerful one. And I think most other astrologers are calling it. This is a Uranian moon combined with that Scorpio moon energy. So I guess calling it a Uranian moon is a bit of a stretch, but it is a Scorpionic moon with a Uranian twist, let's put it that way, which is only emphasizing these themes of liberation, freedom, individuality, and really expressing the truth and the core of who we are. That Scorpio energy is going to allow us to dive deep and truly discover and uncover the parts of ourselves that have up until now lie hidden within us. Or laying hidden, I guess, would be probably the correct grammatical way to say that. The writer in me wants to point out. And that is, of course, only going to allow us to express our uniqueness and our individuality, our authenticity, which is what Uranus calls us to do, to a greater degree, right? The more honest we are with ourselves, the deeper we are willing to look into our shadow, the better we're going to know ourselves and the better we're going to express that in the world. We have not only the moon conjunct Juno within the sign of Scorpio currently, but we also have Black Moon Lilith, who has returned to Scorpio. If we're looking at the true Lilith as opposed to the mean Lilith, which is the average of her orbit, and I do read by the true Lilith, she'll be in a whole lot of different places at different times. So she was in Scorpio during that powerful new moon in Taurus, which is connected to this full moon in Scorpio. And she was at the same point, essentially, within the sky, within a couple degrees, conjunct this point known as the Shapley Attractor, which is the most powerful and mysterious point in space that we are aware of so far. This is the point around which all known galaxies orbit. It's a point of great mystery, of great influence. So it's really fascinating to have seen her conjunct this point. She was part of a grand cross during that Taurus new moon involving Mars, Pluto, and the sun and the moon, who were at that time conjunct, as they always are during a new moon, in the sign of Taurus. So we had similar energies at play here, as we still have Mars and Pluto in opposition during this full moon as well. Mars and Pluto being the rulers of the sign of Scorpio, the co-rulers. And you can almost see the little bit of that battle of wills energy here with the Mars-Pluto opposition, even in that statement, right? The co-rulers of Scorpio, right? Who's the real ruler? Who has the true authority here? That's been the dance of Mars and Pluto. And yes, that dance is breaking up. Mars and Pluto had their first opposition during or right before the election in the United States on November 4th. Then Mars went retrograde, crossed Pluto again, and is now crossing Pluto again after going direct. And now that this energy is breaking up, this dynamic, which we've talked about extensively on this channel. So if you want to learn more about that, just browse through past videos and you will find information on that. I'm not sure exactly what videos to recommend right now. I don't want to get distracted thinking about it, but just browse through some. The titles will kind of cue you into where we might be talking about this energy. And if I do remember, I will perhaps link some information at the end of this video about that Mars-Pluto cycle and that struggle between the higher will and the lower will that we were discussing with Mars and Pluto, Pluto being the higher will rather, and Mars being the lower human will or ego will. That has been a fascinating process. And Mars is now breaking free, in a sense, from Pluto's hold over him. Pluto is the slower planet. Pluto is the planet that represents ultimate power and dominion. So Mars, within the scope of Pluto, does, I don't know if cater to him is the right word, but he is superseded by Pluto's energy. Pluto takes the authoritative stance here, which Mars, and oh, I love how this is really describing that dance of wills, right? Mars representing our lower will, really not into meeting with a planet or body that is of greater intensity and power than he, right? And that would be our soul. This would be our higher will, as Pluto represents our collective evolution and our individual soul's history and evolution. And the emotional programming, I guess you could say, that's the word that's coming through right now, the emotional conditioning over many, many lifetimes. So this energy, this like big dick energy, I guess you could say, of Pluto, right, has been subverting Mars to an extent. Every time Mars comes back into contact with him, Pluto's taking him deeper. Pluto's showing him his motivations, showing him his intentions, showing him his true desires, showing him where it is that and him being us, right? The masculine aspect of our psyches, showing that masculine aspect of our psyches, where it is that we've been abusing power, where it is that we've been perhaps seeking something outside of ourselves in order to feel powerful, where it is that we've been misusing our will or misaligning our energies towards something that is not in resonance with our soul. So it's been a big check-in point every single time for Mars, and Mars has really grown as a result of that. But he's really grateful to be breaking free, treading new ground. Mars is out of shadow as of the full moon and a few days before, so he's raring to go. Right? He's blazing new territory in Leo, but we still have the echoes of that opposition, as they're not far enough apart during this full moon to really truly say that that has 100% broken up. And yes, I am going to be checking my chart of the full moon as we go. I may put a chart up for you guys as well. Let me know in the comments below if you're enjoying when I do that. It does help to get a visual, I think. It helps for me while I'm talking about this, and I think it probably helps for all of you as well. So as I'm looking at my chart for the full moon, yeah, we see Mars at 11 degrees of Leo. So he's just about out of the zone of that opposition. It is a whisper. It is an echo at this point. But I still think it's interesting that we have that whisper or echo here, considering these are both the rulers of the sign of Scorpio, and considering that powerful grand cross that we had, the most intense aside from perhaps the Yod aspect in astrology. During that new moon, there were a lot of power dynamics, both without and within, right? Because remember, everything that we experience on the outside is a reflection of something internal within, an internal power struggle that may have been played out in the external realm. And we may still be experiencing vestiges of that. There's going to be a big theme here of the power dynamics between the masculine and feminine. And as we're looking at these energies, we want to remember this isn't just outer masculine and feminine, right? Like if we hold both essences within ourselves. So you may identify more as a feminine or a masculine energy, but you hold both essences. And so we're not dealing with these as like, you know, we can say, for instance, I will say that I identify more as a feminine energy. to an extent. We'll say for sake of the description that I do, right? And so I'm not just looking at this like how I'm relating to men or masculines, people that carry that heavy masculine energy, regardless of gender, in the outer world. We can say this is also my internal masculine, how my internal feminine and masculine are relating to each other. And Spirit wants to clarify once more and bring through that reminder that even the outer dynamics with masculine and feminine people that carry that strong masculine or feminine charge to them are simply an echo of our own internal battle with those energies. All right. So especially with Scorpio, which is very much about going deep, plumbing the psyche, the subconscious, the shadowy depths of the being, we really want to be aware of this mirroring aspect. Carl Jung talked about this a lot, and how repressed energies within the self play out really powerfully in the outer world. All energies do, but repressed ones really have an added energy to them, I think, because it's like your psyche, your soul is really trying to get you to see something that you're missing. This full moon is absolutely going to be about seeing what it is that we are missing. Uranus, who is, as we said, conjunct the sun and Hygeia during this full moon and opposing the moon itself, is really playing into this as well and is really benefiting from this. This is one of the defining moments in the completion of this transit of Uranus through the sign of Taurus. Uranus began transiting Taurus back in 2018. So this is a massive cycle that we are completing. Uranus is going to be moving into Gemini on the 7/7 portal, which for those of you who are new to this channel is July 7th. And then we'll be retrograding back into the sign of Taurus for one final time in November. And then in the beginning of 2026, Uranus will station firmly in the sign of Gemini, no longer moving back into Taurus. So the fat lady is singing here, so to speak, which, and I'm a Taurus too, so don't take this the wrong way, but is an apt metaphor for Taurian energies and themes here. Uranus, within these Taurian areas of your chart, has been working with you to help liberate you, to help break you free, break you out of a rut, break you out of your comfort zone, to help bring you into and align you with this next version of yourself that is ready to be born. And this rebirthing portal that is this full moon in Scorpio is a powerful and potent catalytic moment, I guess we could say. And what I mean by that is that Uranus and the sun opposing this moon, they're catalyzing something within us. It may not be fully apparent right now. For some people, it's going to be very clear, especially if you look back to what have you been struggling with? What kind of change has been wanting? What kind of shift has been wanting to come through since 2018 that you have perhaps been resisting to a certain extent? Some people, you may have no idea. But this full moon, even if you don't recognize it, is catalyzing that change in a big way. It is bringing through deeper truths that need to be understood. If you have been consciously working with this energy, with this shift that is wanting to happen, you've been working, perhaps struggling with releasing limiting beliefs around whatever this energy is. It could have to do with money. It could have to do with your own physical body, your own manifested reality. It could have to do with manifestation and creation in general. It could have to do with anything that you're trying to build in the physical world. Could have to do with your own relationship to yourself, self-love, self-value, your value system in general being transformed. There's so many possibilities here. Whatever this is, if you have been working consciously with it and you've been stuck somewhere, this full moon is the breakthrough that you have been looking for. It is going to invite you, like we said at the beginning of this video, to delve into the depths of your unconscious, of your being, and extract whatever nugget of truth has been lying dormant within you, has been perhaps buried or disguised within you. It may unlock this through connections with each other, with others, through relational energies, I guess is the way I want to put this, particularly with the moon conjunct Juno. So this is either where partnerships are being put to the test, where they're either, it's a make it or break it, we'll say. They're either getting deeper and more committed, or they're really seeing where it is that and they just don't resonate anymore. If you are single or not in a committed type of partnership, and this applies to all partnerships, not just romance, but also business partnerships, any really profound one-on-one relationships and connections, you're seeing where it is that you are either in alignment or out of alignment. This is also where you're getting that opportunity to go deeper together. Or if you don't have any remarkable partnership to really apply this to right now, it's about going deeper within yourself so that you really truly understand what you want in a partnership, what you want in a connection. You redefine with that Uranian energy what it is that you are worthy of. And you get shown the patterns and habits that have contributed to perhaps not having that in your life. The personal growth that you are ready to do in order to become that which you seek. So this is really, really powerful. We talked about the feminine and the masculine energies here and how we have those power struggles going on. So I'm going to delve into that a little more and explain why it is that is so prominent. So one thing that is interesting here is that we have Black Moon Lilith, like we said, back within the sign of Scorpio. She's conjunct the asteroid Vesta, which represents home and hearth, but it also represents our soul flame, our soul fire, what it is that we are passionate about, truly passionate about, that truly lights us up and feeds our soul. So with Black Moon Lilith here, in the sign of Scorpio, we're really looking at where it is that we felt that we had to abandon parts of ourselves in order to be loved, in order to be accepted, where it is that we have shoved aspects of ourselves into the dark because they were not societally or socially appropriate, where it is that we have been shamed for being ourselves, shamed for our dreams and desires, made to feel like they weren't worthy, like they were not workable, acceptable. All right, this is deep, deep energy here, where it is that we perhaps have needed to sacrifice ourselves and our own happiness and what truly fills our own soul for another, particularly for the masculine. But remember, this could be for the masculine side of our own essence. Where is it that we perhaps pushed aside what we truly needed in the pursuit of our career and the pursuit of the things that we thought we needed in order to be whole, in order to look a certain way to others? There's a lot of different ways that we can delve into this energy. Now, what makes this masculine-feminine dichotomy even more fascinating is the fact that Uranus is 1 degree away from the star Algol. And we've talked about the fixed star Algol quite a bit on this channel, because that is known as Medusa's eye within the head of Medusa in the Perseus constellation. And that energy of Medusa's eye represents powerful, dark feminine energy, transformation. It represents betrayal. Yes, Medusa was victimized and then she was punished for it, right? So there's this energy of, once again, some people call her the Lilith star. Call Algol, that's a tongue twister for some reason, the Lilith star or the demon star. All right, there's a lot of negative energy surrounding Algol, but it is that dark feminine power, right? Because Medusa became more powerful once she was turned into a Gorgon, and even more powerful still once Perseus killed her and chopped off her head. It was used in battle. Those who held her head were invincible. All right, so there's a powerful energy here. So once again, through this story, we see that understanding of how a challenge can be turned into an advantage and how we can take pain, alchemize that, and turn that into great strength. Now, while we have Uranus 1 degree away from Algol, we also have another fixed star right around 22 degrees of Taurus. It's actually at 23 degrees of Taurus, but this is in close enough range that we're going to call it. And this is the fixed star Capulus. Now, Capulus represents the hilt of the sword that was used to decapitate Medusa. It represents male aggression, force, and power. It can also represent clarity leadership in battle, but there's a lot of this fierce, aggressive, dominating masculine energy that is associated with the fixed star Capulus. So how fascinating that we have the Sun conjunct Capulus while we have Uranus conjunct Algol, really emphasizing that dichotomy of the masculine feminine and that struggle between the masculine and feminine energies. Now, this is a struggle that essentially has been falsely created. It's been twisted and weaponized by the powers that were, by the energies that have dominated this planet for a long time, by the way that what was once a beautiful symbiotic union between our masculine and feminine energies has been perverted through separating these energies, pitting them against each other. Does this sound familiar? This is done not only with the masculine and feminine, it's done with every single thing that it possibly can be done with. Divide and conquer, right? The divide and conquer agenda of those who were once in power. Notice I said who were once in power. Started right there with our own inner divine feminine and masculine energies. So as we heal this energy, as we bring our own internal masculine and feminine energies back into coherence, back into balance and union, we begin to heal all of that divide and conquer agenda. Like, think of how powerful that is. This full moon is a really potent opportunity to do that. But in order to do that, we have to delve into our shadows. We have to delve into the pain, perhaps, the sadness, the betrayal, right? All of these angry, vengeful feelings and energies that are often associated with Lilith. Now, Lilith also has a beautiful, empowering side. And this is the other dichotomy, which we can also see with stars such as Algol. It's referenced to us and reflected to us in so many different ways with all the astrology that we're talking about here. But it's that energy of the poison versus the medicine, and how what was once medicine can become poison, and vice versa. We see this theme and this energy amplified by the fact that the moon itself is in conjunction with another fixed star. And this is the Alpha Serpentis fixed star, which is also known as, and I am looking at my notes here because this is new to me, this fixed star. It's really beautiful though. Unukalhai. I may be butchering that, but Unukalhei. All right, Alpha Serpentis, otherwise known as the head or the neck of the serpent. This is a very powerful fixed star. It has an energy of Saturn and Mars to it. We've got a lot of these. It's got bite, right? It is associated with Scorpio energy. It is, of course, located in tropical astrology at 22 degrees of Scorpio. And it represents that dichotomy of energy that we just talked about. It's snake medicine. There's a bite to it. There is a poisonous aspect, a dark aspect to this energy. But there's also an invitation to go deep into that shadow, to really sink your teeth, so to speak, into this process of shadow work, into this process of integration, to look at the thing that you've been afraid to look at, to heal the thing that you've been afraid to touch, to acknowledge even existed, that wound that you simply could not bear to admit was there. And once you do, there is unimaginable power that is available to you. This star represents magic, power, the occult. It represents a lot of deep energies that are only accessible to those who are willing to go equally deep within themselves. Much like Scorpio energy itself, it represents that duplicity of energy where we can become toxic through refusing to face our shadow, or we can become empowered through delving into it. With Black Moon Lilith here, like we said, this is the key. Delving into those places where we have been afraid to shine our light because we were degraded. We were, for some reason, objectified is coming through here, because we were harmed, ostracized. I'm getting like the 5 of Pentacles energy from the tarot here, left out in the cold. There's this need to be brave, and that's where the higher energy of Capulus at 22 degrees Taurus also comes in handy. And that energy of Algol, it's like becoming that warrior. No longer being afraid of who's going to love me and who's not if I tell the truth. If I ask for what I deserve. Remember, Lilith was cast out of the Garden of Eden because she asked for what she deserved, because she wanted to be equal to Adam. So even in that, because she was the first wife of Adam. So even in that story, that creation story, we see this pitting of masculine and feminine against each other. We see the separation. Oh, this is fascinating. What's coming through is simply the separation from one entity into two, right? The female and the masculine, having two separate bodies, embodying those energies physically, was a type of separation. And that type of separation allowed for the further separation of those energies. That's really interesting. That's like going way deep and esoteric with it all. And isn't it fascinating that there was a serpent involved in that story, or in the stories of Adam? That was once Eve came around, right? The serpent. Oh, this is interesting. I don't know where this is coming from, but I'm getting this image of Lilith as the serpent coming through and offering Eve the apple. Being like, oh yes, she's so good. She's so subservient, right? She's like the whitewashed vanilla version of what the feminine is. Let me go and offer her some knowledge. Let me go offer her some wisdom. Let me go offer her a taste of the possibility of what can be if she decides to be her own person, to think for herself rather than be submissive. So that's so fascinating. I've never read that anywhere, but that's what's coming through right now, is this energy of Lilith as the serpent, offering the apple, right, from the tree of knowledge. Ooh. So yeah, this energy goes deep, you all. It goes so, so deep. And if you are willing to go as deep as this energy, or even really a fraction as deep as this energy, there's something really powerful that can come out of this. This is with the Uranian energy, with the Scorpio energy, with this Alpha Serpentis energy. This is a rebirth like nothing we've experienced so far. Complete rebirth and reinvention is what this energy is all about. You can come out of this full moon a completely different person. You are going to. You already are. It already began. That new moon in Taurus really began initiating this process in earnest. And there was a lot of people have been talking about a recent timeline jump. I feel like it happened around then. And like I said, you may not experience all of these shifts immediately. It may be it's usually a gradual process. But I can tell you all, I feel like a completely different person over the last week or so, especially the last few days. So I don't know what that's all about. That's all part of these energies too. Maybe that's beginning to integrate. This is like the purge that aligns us more deeply with that energy, because we're releasing all those, this is fears of our greatness, fears of the unknown, fears of this next version of us that we're stepping into, fears of whatever Uranus has been asking us to do, whatever comfort zone Uranus has been asking us to step into. And for many of us, this is simply the comfort of the version of ourselves that we've outgrown. So this is quite literally, and this is the year of the snake, so this energy is perfect right now. It's time to shed that skin. It's time to really look at and review, like this star, Alpha Serpentis, shows us. What is medicine for me and what is now poison? And as I was thinking about this energy, something that really resonated for me personally was this understanding and this remembering of the process of being a drug addict. I was addicted to drugs for many, many years, almost a decade of my life. And initially, When I would speak about it and tell people about it, I would say initially drugs saved my life. I was extremely depressed. I was extremely disenchanted with life. I tried to take my life a couple times. Modest attempts, but attempts. I did not want to be here. I didn't feel good in my own skin. I didn't feel like I fit in. This world seemed so dark, depraved, and depressing that I was like, I just didn't see a point, right? I didn't have a purpose, and I didn't have faith at that time. Those are the two things that changed everything for me. But initially, drugs replaced that, right? It replaced the need for faith. It replaced the need for a purpose. Just made me feel better, right? Drugs allowed me to explore all of these different ways of how I could feel, how I could experience the world, my body. It was an interesting exploration for somebody who is a natural explorer, right? It took me out of myself, and in some ways brought me deeper into myself. They allowed me to reinvent myself. It breathed life back into me in a sense. But eventually over the years, as my addiction became more pronounced, it was no longer fun. I became a slave to the very things that had once freed me. And that was the point when I started realizing that I needed to get clean, that I needed to do something different. Because I didn't want to be a slave. And that's what I had become. Because to me, and I'm sure some of you watching this can relate, because this channel is for the way showers, for the leaders of the new earth. That was the ultimate. Like when I got to that point where I realized that I was enslaved, I couldn't bear it anymore. I saw that it was bringing me the opposite of what I had desired. That I was becoming a shell of the person that I once was. And so I began the process of detoxing, of drawing out the poison. And that's what this full moon is here to do for those, and we all need it on some level. It's here to draw out the poison. If you are willing to allow the process and to play the active role that you need to play, and you'll know what that role is. It might be extracting certain people from your life. And we're going to get deeper into that in a minute when we delve into the different signs here. It could be extracting habits. It could be for releasing belief systems, fears. It could be revisiting in some sense of trauma in order to let it go. Or feeling the feelings that you haven't been willing to feel yet. There's so many ways that this can work, but this full moon is offering you that process. The first step, however, is being aware and accepting that something in your life is poisonous to you. For a lot of people, I feel like this is going to be something that you're very attached to. This is going to be something that you really don't want to let go. This is not going to be this happy parting of ways. Like it's by happy, I guess that's the wrong word. It's going to be heavy. It may feel heavy for a lot of people. The more attached you are to whatever it is that is toxic to you, the heavier this energy is going to feel. But if you want true peace, if you want to align with the version of you that is waiting for you, and if you found this video and you're still watching this video, you are a powerful soul. You came here for a reason. Well, we all did, but you came here for a big reason. You got stuff to do on this planet. All right, you didn't come here to just sit in the back of the theater eating popcorn. You came here to play an active role in this process. Your healing is the most important aspect of that process. More important than anything else you do to serve the collective. And you came here to serve, honey. If you're watching this video, you came here to serve. Right? It may be hard. This is that Pluto opposing Mars energy here, right? The higher will versus the lower will. There have been so many times along my journey where my higher will and my lower will have wanted very different things, right? That's why we call them the higher and the lower will, right? The soul versus the ego. But I made a commitment to myself to choose always my soul's will over my ego's will. Some of you, it's that point where this full moon may be that choice point for you where you make that commitment as well. We got Saturn right now, still conjunct the North Node and Ceres in the sign of Pisces. In a stellium that is still connected to Neptune and Aries, being that Neptune is still just at 1 degree of Aries, still very close to Saturn and the North Node. Saturn and Neptune are going to be doing a little dance all the way through the beginning of 2026 here. All right. Saturn is commitment. Saturn in Pisces is commitment to our spiritual path, to our soul. It's releasing the victim consciousness, releasing the powerlessness. When Saturn steps into Aries, that's where we really work on that empowerment in a different way. We've been working on it in Pisces too, through the lens of disempowerment more. Now we're going to be working on empowerment through the lens of empowerment. And I'm going to get more into that and what that means as we explore Saturn in Aries. That'll be a different video. Are you ready to commit to your soul, to your higher path, to your higher vision? You may not know what that vision is. All right, we still have Pluto conjunct the fixed star Altair right now. Altair represents the eagle, the flying eagle. It is that higher vision. It is that energy that brings us into power with instead of power over, that shapes us into leaders, true leaders, benevolent leaders. It's a really beautiful, liberating energy, Altair as well. We're getting this from all angles right now. Okay, so this is a time spirit saying, with that square to Black Moon Lilith and Pluto here, they're in a squaring action, just like they were during the new moon. There's this energy of like, purge out all of that. If you're feeling angsty, if you're feeling vengeful, if you're feeling any of these what we would call lower vibratory, but still completely valid emotions about any circumstance in your life or any other life, right? Some of us are very connected to our concurrent lifetimes, we'll call them. Some would call them past lives. Let it out. Feel it. For some people, it's the shame of feeling these, what we would call darker, low-vibed emotions that prevents us from acknowledging them and causes them to fester. And then we react sideways. We've got to purge ourselves of all of that in order to really step into the type of leader that we want to be in our own lives, and for many watching this channel, in the world as well. The leaders of the past are not functioning in this new reality. They don't measure up, most of them, right? They come from a place of dishonesty. This energy is all about integrity. Pluto in Aquarius, square the Shapley attractor, which represents collective influence and great power, is all about integrity, particularly with Altair being there with Pluto as well. It's all about integrity with power, how we wield our power. Pluto and Capricorn taught us a lot about this. Pluto is still teaching us about this, particularly right now. This Pluto retrograde, and I'm going to do a video on this because this is so intense. This is Pluto retrograding in square to the Shapley in Aquarius for the first time, first full retrograde in Aquarius. This is powerful. This is where all the darkness is coming to light. And as Neptune and then Saturn as well move into Aries, yes, they're going to retrograde back into Pisces this year. Next year, they're going to be squarely in Aries. They're going to be conjunct. I believe it's February 26, 2026. I'm not going to look at my notes right now. We're going to talk about it. Pretty positive that I'm accurate on that date there. We're going to really see this energy coming to a head. This is where we challenge those old leaders, the old guard who will not step down, who are abusing their power. That's going to be exposed and it will be challenged. All right. This is a hell of a time to be alive. I'll tell you what. That's why we all came here, right? To be part of this magnificent showdown, this magnificent reclamation of our power, of our sovereignty. All right. I think we've covered everything that we need to cover. So now we're going to go through the signs here And remember, as I said at the beginning of this video, this is a sun sign horoscope. So you can use your sun sign. That's going to give you more of the hero's journey of how your solar consciousness is moving through this moon. Use your ascendant. That's going to get you closer to what is actually lined up in your chart, because charts start at the ascendant, generally speaking. So that's the ascendant is going to set the houses, and the houses determine a lot of this energy here. So go through it for both. See what resonates for you. You can even try your moon sign or something else if you're feeling wacky. You know what I mean? Just like go with it, go with the flow, go with what you're called to listen to. You also know how these energies are, how you're experiencing them personally. So trust that experience as well. We're going to start with Aries because I like to start at the beginning. That's my moon in Virgo, my organizational energies, perhaps Mars in Capricorn. I just, Mercury in Taurus. I got a lot of earth. I needed to stay grounded in this lifetime. So Aries, this full moon is taking place in your 8th house. So the 8th house is the Scorpio house. This is the house that Pluto rules. This is going to be an intense ride for you. Pluto, of course, being the ruler of Scorpio, along with Mars, who is also your ruler. So you're really tied up in this energy. You're really feeling this. You are feeling that opposition. You have been feeling that opposition of Mars and Pluto because Mars is your ruling planet. So there's been a lot of that internal power struggle within you, probably. That energy, those energies there of the higher will versus the lower will. So that may come to a head during this. You're really going to be going through a powerful rebirthing energy here. You're feeling that Lilith energy intensely. That's happening in your 8th house. There's something within you that is needing to transform. And I was feeling for this placement as well, that there is that energy of inheritance coming through here. And we're looking at, for some, there may be physical inheritance. You've got Taurus conjunct Uranus in your opposing 2nd house. So this is the axis of wealth, the 8th and the 2nd house, but it's also the emotional inheritance. So you may really be looking at some of these shadow energies within your ancestral line. What have you inherited? What habits, what belief systems have come along with whatever family line you incarnated into? Have you been raised with that are affecting your ability to become who you want to be in the world, and absolutely your ability to manifest wealth and abundance and feel secure in the world? That energy of feeling secure is coming through really strongly, like feeling safe, feeling taken care of. Some of you may feel like financially you're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. There's always some other bill coming up. There's always something. That's because there is a belief system there. Perhaps you grew up in that energy. So that energy is wanting to release for you now. That energy of expecting the other shoe to drop, the energy of hardship, whatever it is, whatever blocks you have around wealth and abundance. This is also about self-acceptance and self-love. And where it is that there are energies around that need to be released. This is where you're looking into those deep traumas and dramas with that 8th house energy. The 8th house is often like the energies there often get activated through crisis. So there could be an internal or external crisis going on in your reality right now that is sort of impacting this for you. And where is Saturn degree wise here? Saturn's only a couple degrees away from your sign. So your sign is feeling the pressure from Saturn here. I was being drawn to Saturn's energy because Saturn makes everything more visceral. It's more real world. So you're feeling that transit coming on as well. That transit's going to be so intense for everybody, and it's going to be so intense for all of you. So there's a lot of those insecurities, any of those feelings of not being worthy, of not measuring up, not being good enough, not being big enough, fast enough, strong enough, that coming to the forefront here. Fears around initiating something, starting something, taking risks, particularly when it comes to things that affect your, once again, physical manifested world. We're seeing those energies coming through. So it's just really this rebirthing process for you is really, truly profound, Aries. So honor it. Honor whatever is going on here. Allow what needs to come up to come up. I'm feeling for somebody, there's even like energies of Something to do with the feminine and the ways that the feminine has been, like what I'm feeling right now is those energies of, you know, how the female, for instance, we'll look in the United States as just one example. We weren't allowed to own property for a very long time. Only since very recently did we get the right to vote, did we get the right to work, to own property. We essentially were property. So there's something around that energy too, and that wants to release here, that wants to heal. It's like ancestral wounds around that. There's a lot of deep ancestral healing that is going to be happening for you during this full moon. And I want to pull one card for you, Aries. I think I'm going to do this for all the signs. One card, clear, for this full moon for Aries. Oh, I got the 9 of Cups that almost wanted to pop out there. Ooh, we have the Devil in reverse when I cut the deck. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. So this is fucking incredible energy. This is a brand new start for you. Whatever is wanting to release here. And there's definitely energies of self-sufficiency with the 9 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. And with the 8 of Cups here, followed by the 10 of Cups. This is you walking away. This is you walking away perhaps of the things that you've been holding on to, the people, the places. For some of you, this is like marriages. This is business partnerships where you have a lot invested with another person, financially, physically, emotionally. Walking away from that in favor of starting something yourself, doing something yourself. This is like letting go of the thing, person, place, or thing that makes you feel secure, that gives you that external stability, but causes a lot of internal stability and is really not in alignment with you anymore. All right, releasing that, letting that go and stepping into something brand new, something passion, soul driven, that is really going to bring a brand new start. And it definitely seems promising financially as well. You are ready for this and you are worth it, Aries. All right, now we're going to move on to Taurus. Taurus, this full moon is occurring in your 7th house. This is the house of partnerships, of relationships, of marriage, contracts, commitments. And what is really interesting about this is that we do have Juno, the asteroid of partnership and marriage, conjunct the moon here. So for you, this is really bringing this energy to center stage, particularly around love commitments, although this doesn't have to be for everyone. For those of you who are not in a committed partnership, you may be meeting someone around this time who's going to be a catalyst for some of these energies that we're going to talk about, for seeing more deeply into yourself. The 7th house also relates to our own shadow and the ways that we see and notice and recognize things in other people that exist within ourselves, but we're not aware exist. So there's a powerful mirroring energy going on for all of my Tauruses, whether you're in a partnership or not. But if you are in a partnership, you're really going to recognize this. And this is going to be a make it or break it time, particularly if you are married, thinking about getting married, in any of those types of energies or situations. So be mindful of this energy. This is also an opportunity to bring you closer together with a partner, if you're both willing to do the work, if you're both willing to get honest. I'm feeling this energy of secrecy here. I'm feeling this energy of true feelings, emotions, desires not being out on the table. You really want to put this stuff out on the table right now. If you are able to do that, you're able to connect from that open, honest, real, vulnerable, and raw place, then you can absolutely move forward and you will feel your bond and connection deepen around this time. All my Tauruses are becoming very aware of what they want, of what they desire, and of what within them may be preventing them from accessing that or standing in the way of that. So this is a really deep energy for self-exploration, for exploration of the shadow through interactions with others, and for really getting a deeper understanding of what it is that we desire. With the opposing house here for you being the 1st house, where you have your sun, as well as Uranus and Hygeia, who I didn't mention a lot. Just because there's so many fixed stars and planets and things going on here, I didn't want to overwhelm people. But Hygeia represents physical health, health and wellness. And the 1st house is all about health. So, and the physical body. So you may be working a lot on the physical body. That may be a huge area of fixation for you right now. Healing the physical body, exercise, diet, all of these different things. You may be self-healing in a powerful way and really drawing people to you as a result of the healing work that you have been doing. And now it's like that deeper emotional piece is coming through. It's like you've made space for a deeper level of that. And you're actually going to be able to integrate that through the physical body, through the ways that you work with the body. As you move through this full moon, you're going to be processing some of those deeper emotions through exercise, through moving the body. And you're going to perhaps have an opportunity to really begin to notice where those emotions live within your body. Taurus energy is one of the most embodied signs. It is arguably the most embodied sign. Some actually believe that the earth rules Taurus as opposed to Venus. All right. So very embodied. Energy tends to collect in Taurus. We, and I say we because I'm a Taurus sun myself, we tend to, if we're not moving our bodies enough, if we're not working that energy through, it tends to get stuck and stagnant. Remember, fixed earth. So this is what's advised for my Tauruses, is to really take some time to meditate, to move through your body, bringing your awareness to different parts of your body and just seeing what energies might be stored there, what feelings and emotions. This is a great time to receive energy work. I do some really powerful and profound types of energy work, healing, release, clearings. So if you're interested, reach out to me. My information's in the description box below. You do not have to come to me. Go to someone or do this on your own. Work with your chakras, work with the earth. Taurus is very connected to the earth. Find different ways to clear and move your energy. Tai Chi or something like that is going to be really helpful for somebody, especially with all these planets moving into these fire signs, all right? So that's one avenue of this energy. This is also about a complete reinvention of the self. A complete reinvention of the self and a deep desire for those in your life to accept this new version of you. And I feel like there's some fears that are being released from my Tauruses around this full moon surrounding like, what's going to happen if I really let myself shine? If I really let myself grow and embody this new version of myself that's being born right now. There's been kind of like holding back your own growth and evolution. And this is going to be true to various extents for different Tauruses here, because you don't want to leave people behind or cause more of a rift in your relationships, your connections. But you're already aligned with that new timeline. There is no going back. That old version of you doesn't exist anymore. There's only moving forward. So embrace that and find loving ways to connect and really share, like we said, those visions, those hopes, those ideals, those raw, authentic truths with those in your life, and just trust that those who are meant to come with you into this next chapter will. I'm going to pull a couple cards for you, and I'm actually being called to this tarot deck for you. So we're going to see, clear, one card for Taurus here. Guidance for Taurus as we move through the full moon. I almost said the full moon in Aries. Got the Three of Pentacles. This is teamwork. This is collaboration. This is you don't have to do it all on your own. This is also for some of my Tauruses a mentor or some sort of guiding force coming in. And this is seventh house. We think a lot of the time about marriage, right? But remember, we said contracts, commitments, business partnerships. Some of you may be meeting a new business partner or solidifying a contact and working together with somebody. You may be meeting a mentor who's going to mentor you in business, who's going to mentor you in your spiritual evolution. We talked about how some of my Tauruses are very focused on their health right now. So this could also be mentoring you in health, teaching you how to become fitter, healthier, stronger, any of these things. But working together, coming together with people, helpful people coming into your reality. And this is also a reminder from Spirit, be the student. Yes, you are the teacher. You are the Hierophant, right? And many of you are coming into the next version of yourselves as a teacher, but remain the student as well. Embrace that dichotomy of the student and the teacher. The best teachers are always learning, and the best students are teaching what they learn. That's how you keep it fresh. I know I learn best by teaching. All right, so that is the guidance for my Tauruses. Clear. I'm also, Spirit's wanting me to say some people may be signing contracts around this time, and not just, some are physical contracts, literal contracts. That's a big step for some people. And I'm not going to delve into what those contracts might be. They're going to be different for different people. A lot of them related to business. But there's also new soul contracts that we are essentially signing as we initiate this next phase of soul-based connection. And those, like we said, who are meant to further our purpose and our growth in this lifetime. All right, now we are moving into Gemini. My beautiful Geminis, you have this full moon occurring in your 6th house. So this is, and for my Geminis, this might be kind of boring, right? Because the 6th house is the house of Virgo. It's habits, it's routines, it's hygiene. It's the stuff you got to do on a daily basis. It's also your workplace. It is service, how you are of service to the world, how you show up in the world. So there's a lot of energy around this right now. This is a time where some of my Geminis may be thinking about changing jobs, changing careers. There may be actually, I'm feeling a lot of psychic activations for my Geminis. Remember, you have the Sun conjunct Uranus and Hygeia, the asteroid that represents healing, in your 12th house. And that is the house of the unconscious. It's also another house related to service. So there's this energy here. It's really interesting. I'm feeling like there is an empowerment coming for a lot of my Geminis where you spent a lot of lifetimes, this is only going to be for some, so take what resonates, as a servant. And now you're learning how to step into a different role. It's service, but there's a difference between being a servant and being of service. And I think you can feel into the context of those words in the way that it's being shown to me. So this is like not being the martyr, not like that energy is not called for anymore. That may have been in another lifetime, right? Like Christ essentially was a martyr. He came here for that purpose, and his sacrifice planted that seed of Christ consciousness, awakened millions. All right. But you don't have to be the martyr in every single lifetime. And there's a difference between being a true martyr in the sense of what Christ stood for, Yeshua, versus like being a martyr for other reasons, for reasons of validation, for reasons of getting what you want, for reasons of not rocking the boat. So for some of my Gemini, some of these energies are coming up. The Sun and Uranus there in the 12th house, this is the house of Pisces. So this is escapism, this is addiction, this is victimhood, this is all of those energies. So really revolutionizing the way you see yourselves in terms of those energies, and possibly bringing through some of these past life energies that are connected to that martyrdom, that servant energy, that energy of being marginalized, of being, the 12th house connects to institutions and asylums. It connects to jails. It connects to all of these energies of segments of the population that have been essentially forgotten or who are disadvantaged in some way. So for some of you, it's about helping the disadvantaged. For some of you, it's about realizing where you've been looking at yourself that way, or where it is that you have played into those energies. And it's like extracting yourself from those energies. There's this energy of really looking at your motivations behind service, the ways that you are of service. Like we said, is it motivated through a genuine heart-based desire? Or is it motivated through, is it the higher heart or the lower heart? That's how I kind of want to put it. And what I mean by that is this is similar to like the higher will and the lower will. The higher heart is purely just loves for the sake of love because it is love, right? It is full and it wants to give. The lower heart is feeling empty. It needs something from another. And so it acts from that place of need instead of that place of fullness. So it's fear-based heart giving versus love-based heart giving. So really seeing that, really seeing these deeper intentions and motivations, and also just seeing the self-destructive habits in your daily life. What ways of thinking, what ways of perceiving the world, what ways of speaking, what actions that I take on a regular basis are helping me or hurting me. We're going back to that energy here of the poison, right? When did the medicine become the poison? And how can I alchemize the poison back into medicine? Is there a way to do that? How can I shift this energy? Or do I need to simply extract the poison and move on? right? So these are the deeper themes that you're going to be looking at here. And you're going to be looking at how you can do this and incorporate this into your everyday life, how you can really live this energy of transformation, this powerful scorpionic energy, and how you can perhaps give back through that living of that, through that being that example, and perhaps through your work as well. There's going to be a lot revealed and a lot possibly being stirred up with coworkers, with people in those that you serve with, perhaps, and involved in different organizations, different things that you are connected to here. So that's going to be interesting to see as well as this energy sweeps your 6th house. All right, clear. With Uranus and the sun in the 12th house, you guys want to meditate to quiet the mind and to access all of the downloads and information that is ready for you, that's waiting for you within the unconscious here. All right, let's get one card for Gemini here for this full moon. All right. We got the King of Cups and Strength coming out here. So this is emotional resilience. This is deep emotional healing. Gemini, you are ruled by Mercury. And it all depends on what else you have in your chart, right? But you are by nature very cerebral, very intellect driven, logic driven, mind driven. Depending on what you have in your chart, you may have a very overactive mind, very over analytical mind, a mind that never sleeps, we could say. And you may tend to intellectualize your emotions as opposed to actually feeling them or rationalize them away. I'm a Virgo moon and I can relate to that very much. Virgo also ruled by Mercury. So this is where you're really being asked to get in touch with your emotions, to feel them in order to heal them, and to begin to see and understand them as a strength rather than as a liability. Then we got the King of Wands here. So there's a lot of that charismatic energy that wants to come through too. There's a visionary. I'm getting the energy of a visionary. Some of my Geminis watching this, you have the power to be a very influential visionary or leader. But you have to learn to lead from the heart. We got the Strength card here too. So this is, and the King of Wands. So you could have fire in your chart as well. That I'm picking up on strong Leo energy here. Leo, Sun, Moon, Venus rising. Mars even. So just really cultivating, it's your heart. You have this, and this is the energy when we see Pluto conjunct Altair right now. There's so many places where we see this energy that's calling us to step into a higher form of leadership. You may already be a leader. With the 6th house here, the 6th house relates to workers. And so a lot of times people think of the 10th house as our business and our career, and the 6th house as our employees, if we're in that type of dichotomy. If we are the employee right now, then we are more 6th house with our work. If we are the employer, if we're the entrepreneur, our own boss, then we're 10th house with our work. All right. So if you have people that work under you or for you, this could have to do with the way you treat them. This could have to do with an energy of becoming more compassionate. There's going to be something about your shadow, regardless, shown to you by the subordinates or the people that you consider or would be considered by society to be your subordinates. And if you don't relate to being a boss or something like that, then this energy for you could more have to do with how you treat the less fortunate, or it could not apply at all. But for those of you who do have the subordinates, the people underneath you, for some of you, this could even be your children, right? It's about, especially with that Leo energy coming through, paying attention to what they're reflecting to you. What are your relationships with them like? Right? And why is that? Are you too emotionally connected to them? Because it could go the other way, where you're learning how to master your emotions in the sense of kind of toning them down a little bit, getting more of a grip if you tend to be emotionally reactive. Right? For most of you, I feel like it's going to be more emotionally withdrawn, but some of you could be more emotionally reactive. And so it's about tempering your emotions. It's about not acting based on your emotions in that case. It's about not overwhelming yourself or others with your emotions, learning how to process them in a way that is, how do I want to put this? Learning how to process your emotions in a way that is cathartic and healing as opposed to damaging and self-deprecating. in a way where you're experiencing your emotions as medicine instead of poison, right? When we don't process our emotions properly or at all, they become poison. When we allow ourselves to feel them and move through them and express them in a way that is not infringing upon others and in a way that is healing for us, liberating for us, then they become medicine. So it's knowing and understanding that difference and working with that water energy within yourself. So pay attention to that. Are you overly identified with your employees to the point where maybe they don't respect you as a boss? Or are you perhaps a bit too cold and too distant and not able to empathize with them? Some of you, this is about developing empathy. And it's about empathy in general. Learning how to have the right balance of empathy where you're not over empathizing with everyone and getting dragged into the roller coaster of their emotions, but where you're not under empathizing either and being incapable of seeing things from their perspective, walking a mile in their shoes, as we might say, and being compassionate as a result. All right, so that's a really interesting energy coming through for my Geminis here. And we have the Judgment card, so there's going to be a call to action around that. Clear. You're going to see what you need to do differently moving forward. And for some of you guys, there's leaving a job, leaving a career, leaving behind also just those old habits and ways of being that aren't serving you. All right. Moving forward to Cancer, all of my beautiful Cancers, you are going to be experiencing this full moon in your 5th house. This is the Leo house. This is the house of the sun, the house where we shine, the house of children and pleasure and creativity and dating, love, romance. I like to call this the house of everything that makes life worth living. So this is a really gorgeous energy. This means that you have the sun and Uranus in your opposing 11th house, bringing that spotlight to that energy as well. So you're probably feeling very social. There's a lot of social energy in the air. You may be having a very deep, cathartic, emotional process that is being facilitated through some type of creative process. So this is, if you're not already doing this, this is a message from Spirit to consider if you're purging a lot, if you have a lot of painful emotions, energies coming up, or even just really powerful realizations. Record them, perform them, make them into poetry, make them into art. Do something to alchemize the energies in that way. Get fun, get creative with it. This is an energy where your inner child is coming into focus as well. You may be doing some very deep inner child healing. You may be going back to situations from your childhood, reliving some of those themes and energies. It could be around the pain of not fitting in, of not being seen and recognized, or of being ridiculed when you were seen, when you did show people who you truly were. Remember, we got that Black Moon Lilith energy that is here as well. But that Lilith energy in the 5th house as well really gives that extra oomph to your creativity. If you are somebody who creates best when they're feeling that angsty energy, this is a fantastic time for you to get some material out there. So work with that energy. Pay attention to your dynamics with your own children. They may be going through intense things right now as well. They may need your support. You may start to notice that they're taking on habits and mannerisms from you. Are those ones that you wish to pass on to them or ones that you don't? If they're ones that you don't, how can you begin switching your energy so that you're modeling something different for them? You may be noticing a lot of deep, dark energy coming up within your connection to your children, or deep, dark feelings and emotions, I might say. Maybe not deep, dark energies. It's triggering a lot within you. We'll put it that way. Triggering past trauma, triggering just intense feeling and emotion. Maybe even that intense protectiveness. And you're having to learn how to work through those. You're having to learn how to process what's coming up. I'm going to pull a couple cards for you to get a deeper read into these energies for you. Clear. Make sure that you're not overindulging. If you are, you may see the shadow side of that energy creeping up. Remember my story if you watch the beginning of this video of when the medicine becomes the poison. I shared my story of drug addiction and how drugs were once my medicine and they turned into my poison. So just be aware of all those different things. Be aware of any of the shadow natures of that being revealed. Love. I'm feeling a lot of shadows coming up for my Cancers when it comes to love as well. Love, dating, romance. You may be learning a lot through your casual dating connections right now through your relationships. You may be very triggered, especially with that Lilith energy here as well. So this is where that perhaps divine feminine versus masculine energy that we talked about at the beginning of this video. If you guys didn't watch that, I really think you guys my Cancers would benefit from watching, where we talked about the astrological energies here, because we talked about that dichotomy of energy, the wounded feminine, the wounded masculine, the interplay of those energies, and the healing that is needing to take place within ourselves, within our own feminine and masculine energies, and how the discrepancies between our own misbalanced feminine and masculine energies play out in the external world in our connections. There may be a painful romantic situation going on right now. You may be facing rejection. You may be facing a secret, either learning a secret or needing to share a secret, something that you have perhaps kept from somebody that now needs to be revealed. That's juicy. And perhaps part of the reason that the secret was kept was because you were afraid of how somebody would think of you if they knew the truth, or vice versa if this has to do with somebody else. Either that, or it's a situation that is just meant to trigger a wound in order to heal that wound. We got the 10 of Pentacles here, so that's good. I love that. What else do we have for my Cancers here? This is home, this is family, this is security, and the Tower. All right, so something shocking and unprecedented in your material world, some shakeup in your home, in your family, in your finances. It's kind of like, for some of you, I feel like this is like what you thought your fairy tale life would be is very different from the reality, or is like your vision of what you want for yourself in your world and your family is changing dramatically. Either that, or there's just some sort of wrecking ball coming in. I hate to say this. I know, Uranus, remember? And Uranus is in your 11th house. So this wrecking ball could be coming in the form of friends, networks, any of those types of energies. For one person here, I am feeling, and you know, I'm sorry this is happening. This is just how we all learn, grow, and evolve here. I am feeling that maybe a friend or an acquaintance is having an affair with your partner. And it's kind of like that energy of the happy home, wrecking the happy home here. But what I'm also getting for you, if you are going through this scenario, is that there's something better for you than what you currently have. And you never would have let go of the stability and security in order to go after or make yourself available for what's truly meant for you if something else hadn't come in. And you never would have seen the true colors of the person you're with, or even just the fact that they were dissatisfied too. So it's actually a good thing. The Tower is pretty much always a blessing in disguise, in my opinion. What else with this? This is also just major shakeups in finances, major shakeups in, I heard net worth. Doesn't have to be bad though. This could be a positive influx of money coming in. That could be just as shocking for some people as the negative. If you have a lot of active energies going on in your personal, in your natal chart, your 2nd and 8th houses, this would connect with a lot of those energies as well. And as we were saying here, you have Taurus, which represents the 2nd house, in your 11th house right now. And that Scorpio energy represents the 8th house. So that is the axis of wealth and property, all of this different stuff. Okay, so it makes sense that you could be experiencing changes in that all of us could be in some way, shape, or form. But I'm definitely feeling it for you. Some of you could be inheriting real estate or property even. So like I said, it's going to be different for different people. Moving. We got the 9 of Pentacles with the Page of Wands. So some of you, there's a fresh start where there's a relationship or a marriage ending here. I'm feeling Libra, like somebody that I'm reading for right now who's going through this. You are a Libra. You have a partner who's a Libra. There's something strong with the Libra energy here as well. But like I said, this is for the best. You are going to reestablish yourself, and you are going to really, it's like, I feel like a lot of the collective that I'm speaking for right now, particularly in this Cancer collective, you've been creating, growing, and manifesting something. You've stepped onto a different timeline, and the person that you're with has not stepped onto that timeline with you. They're still in an old energy. So vibrationally, you two couldn't have, you weren't jiving. It wasn't going to work. It is simply, it's It's simple. It's what is that I'm wanting to say? It's like an old quote from Sherlock Holmes or something. It's elementary, dear Watson, or something like that. I don't know, but it's like it's the rule of energy, right? If the energy is not aligned, if you are not a matching vibration, then it's going to break apart. So this was just the catalyst for that energy. And not all of you, it's going to be an affair with somebody in your network or somebody that you know, or something like that with a friend. That's just one possibility. It could simply be that some argument takes place, some outer energy comes in and essentially just ignites the powder keg that's been waiting to explode here, is honestly the only way that I can see to, yeah, we got the devil here and the 8 of Cups. The devil was reversed, but I mean, and we got the 4 of Wands reversed. All right, with the 5 of. So what this is saying with the devil reversed, though, is like, this is releasing you from a situation that wasn't serving you. It was no longer serving you. It was once the medicine, but it became the poison. Even if it wasn't in an outwardly toxic way, yeah, it became the poison. And it's time to heal and move on, to move into the life and the version of you that's waiting. Remember, this is the portal of rebirth, all right? We are aligning, being reborn, and that new version of ourselves that we have been working and moving towards. So connection. Congratulations, you've made it. All right. Sending so much love to my Cancers as we move to Leo now. And Leo, you have this full moon happening in your 4th house. This is the Cancer house. This is the house of home, of family, of hearth, of our roots, also of our own emotional world, our own internal reality. This is where our sacred space is located. There's a lot of really deeply personal energies associated with the 4th house. So this full moon is going to feel deeply personal for you. You may not share a lot about what's going on with you, which for my Leos is a little bit rare sometimes. I'm sorry, my nose is itching like crazy. Like I'm channeling some of this information, and when I channel, my nose goes nuts. So, just know that. I think I had to stop and talk about the channeling right now because maybe some of you, your psychic gifts are activating as well. You're becoming more psychic. You're becoming more intuitive. You're tapping into your own Cancerian 4th house type energies here. But it's just like you're going through a process. It's very private and you don't want a lot of people. You don't want to be seen. You don't want to bring a lot of people. You're feeling very protective of your own space right now, probably. Kind of like you want to sort of squirrel yourself away. If you are somebody who is present on social media or present in any type of visible way to the public, I feel like you're not posting, you're not creating. You're very much in your own cocoon, in your own bubble right now. And some of you, I'm getting the Hermit card, Virgo energy. You may have been in this place for quite some time, and this is like one of those final moments of sort of metamorphosis within that cocoon. There's an energy, there may be a lot of shadow energies, a lot of intensity going on in your family as well. Some of you may be pulling away and isolating because you have a lot of family stuff going on. This could be family members passing away or getting very sick, needing to care for family members. This could be family members I'm feeling like, honestly, like psychosis or mental health issues, severe mental health issues. Some really heavy energies here that I'm picking up on with that. And like my heart goes out to you and your family if you are dealing with this. There's just a lot of deep intensity around the family. This is deep, dark secrets within the family being revealed as well. This is ancestry. This is maybe learning truth about your ancestry that you didn't know before. Learning about scandals within the family. There's a lot of this heavy, heavy energy. And there's a lot of really beginning to see and be exposed to the core, the root of some of your own habits and belief systems, similar to what we had with Aries with the full moon in the 8th house here. And recognizing those elements and energies, but this is going to allow you an opportunity to heal them because you are the way shower within your family. You are the ancestral healer, the generational curse breaker, to use all of these coined spiritual terms, right? Within your family line. But that work isn't always pretty. And right now you're really being presented with the nitty gritty of that. If it's not happening in your own physical reality, happening with your parents, with your cousins, with your children, your partner, whatever, It's happening within. You're going deep within. I'm seeing somebody like going through old photo albums or old letters or journals, maybe diaries from childhood, and connecting the dots of things that they hadn't realized before. I'm seeing somebody having a conversation with a cousin or a sibling where something gets said that reveals something deeper. And all of a sudden you're both like, whoa, that happened. Like buried memories coming to the surface. This is really intense, heavy stuff. So get any assistance if you need help with this, if you need help moving through these times. These are the times where, like, if you don't have a therapist, a temporary therapist might be helpful. Having at least one friend that you can confide in can be very cathartic. And if you want to set up a healing session or anything with me, all my information is in the description box below. But this is big, deep energies. Let's get some, what do we want to do for cards for you? We can use this one. There was a deck that I don't use online that is just for me. It's a very mystical, powerful, sort of ancient Egyptian tarot deck. So some of you guys, there's like a powerful initiation that you're going through right now as well. You are being initiated into the underworld in a powerful way. Like this is as deep and dark as it gets. What you're dealing with and working through right now for some of my Leos. And this is just, it's like we said, it's a powerful initiation, clear. And it's your spiritual gifts are activating along with all of this. Because as you're healing and clearing this ancestral karma, it's like you're reclaiming those gifts is the way that Spirit wants to put it. Clear. It's like some of those gifts were buried in the trauma of your family line is what I'm feeling. And for some of you, it's not quite all that heavy. It is heavy in the sense of maybe you have a loved one who's passing away or who just passed away. You're having to deal with aspects of that, inheritance, different things. Or, you know, somebody's having a tough time in your family, but not that deep and dark of a tough time. Like it could be a little bit lighter, but you're learning a lot still. You're learning a lot and you're healing a lot and you're letting go of a lot from the past. I'm definitely feeling that energy of releasing a lot from the past. So we'll see what else. Cancer, full moon in Scorpio. Let's get it. Just give me one card to go a little deeper into this. Or sorry, not Cancer, Leo. Some of you, it's because it's in your Cancer house. Some of you guys may be Cancers as well. Or have Cancer placements. Or somebody could be dealing with Cancer. Right. For my Leos, Leo. All right. We got the Two of Wands coming out in reverse. This is all about reassessing, defining your purpose, defining your next moves, getting really clear on your next moves. And then we have Storybook Ending coming through, 10 of Cups. So for some of you, I'm feeling this is making this a little bit lighter now. Some of you may simply be getting ready to move. This is like physically moving your home, investing maybe in real estate, investing in a business, but it definitely feels like home for a lot of people. Like maybe you're being called to move for work, or you're thinking about switching careers or switching up your marketing or the way you do things in your business, renovating your home. But that energy of moving is coming through really strongly here. And Spirit's saying whatever moves it is that you're wanting to make, these are two Mars cards, two Mars in Pisces and Mars in Aries. Just get really, really clear on what it is that you want, what it is that you're wanting to accomplish, what your goals are, and your purpose, your why. Why are you doing this? Why are you going after this? And once you really know the why and you really know what it is that you want, it's like you're able to focus. It's like before you were trying to shoot an arrow, but you didn't have a target. And now that you have the target, you're going to be able to hit that bullseye. And you're going to end up with everything that you want. Part of this energy for you as well, this is that emotional healing piece, is about recognizing that you are enough, you are worthy of what you desire. And for some of you where this comes to career, it's like you might be thinking about switching careers or moving here because you're not being paid what you're worth, Or in some aspect, for some of you, this isn't career. This with the Lovers here. This has to do with romance. Although even with the Lovers here, I'm feeling like this is a choice, or this is once again not being valued, you're not being given what you're worth. You know your worth now. This full moon is about purging any remaining feelings around not being worthy. A lot of those may come from programming in childhood. All right, so a lot of that childhood healing, once again, purging those fears, those insecurities, and really stepping into knowing what you deserve and going after it in this next phase of your life. Your higher self is guiding you forward toward a path of prosperity, toward a path of fulfillment. Clear. All right. Now we're going to, and I got summer solstice here as I was just getting ready to close. So, if you surrender, if you let go of control, if you go through this purging process, if you own your power, own your worth, and don't settle for less, within the next few weeks, there's going to be some type of tangible shift, definitely by summertime. So by June, the summer solstice there. You might be moving around that time for some of you as well. All right. Virgo, this eclipse is occurring in your third house. This is the Mercury house. This is the house of communication, of the mind, how we think, how we perceive information and share information. This is also the house that rules siblings and short distance travel and early childhood development and learning. So there's a lot here within the mind, a lot of those shadow energies within the mind, really learning about how your mind either works for you or against you. With this energy here, you may be experiencing a lot of purging and releasing and clearing around childhood experiences, whether this was experiences when you were in school, experiences with your siblings, any of these energies that left a mark, I guess you could say, that influence the way you move forward in the world still, particularly the way you see and experience the world. This full moon is giving you a really powerful sort of X-ray vision into your perception and how your perception, your thoughts, and your words create your reality. And you're being given an opportunity to look at your shadow, to look at the aspects of your psyche, of your being that you've been unwilling to look at up until now, to acknowledge the wounds that you've been unwilling to acknowledge so that you can better understand how you are creating your own reality. Remember, the subconscious determines most of our manifestations because it's like 90-something% of our brain function is subconscious as opposed to conscious. That's where all the files that determine what you believe, which then determines how you see the world, how the world reacts to you. Because the world is reacting to you. Your own vibration, your own frequency is what is creating everything you see around you. It is all responding to your internal world. And your internal world is connected to your thoughts. All right, it's like hardwired to your thoughts. Your thoughts directly influence your internal world. And they are, in a sense, at the same time, a result of your internal world. So it's really mastering your thoughts, mastering your mind. And you may find yourself being taken down some really dark rabbit holes within your mind along this time. So journaling could be really helpful for you. Maybe even a voice journal I'm feeling for some people. Hold on, I need to take a sip of water. This is also a time where higher learning is highlighted. So you may be coming up against things within your psyche, or you may be having experiences. Maybe you're having a really good time exploring these depths. Mercury is the Lord of the underworld, and it's not the Lord of the underworld, but he's able to travel back and forth between the higher and the lower worlds, right? So he's a messenger in that sense. He can move and dive into the subconscious and back into the conscious. So this is a beautiful energy. Maybe you're having fun with this. Maybe you're really exploring this, but something, whether you are struggling to deal with what's coming up for you, or you are just really enjoying interpreting it and playing with it and philosophizing around it, there's some path of higher learning that might be becoming available to you where you're like, in order to process this, I need to know more about this, or I need to try this. So you're learning about different healing modalities, maybe. Maybe you're learning about EFT tapping, or you're learning about Reiki, or you're learning about different, whatever. You know what I mean? You're being called to think outside the box more in order to figure out how to sift through these energies. And I know for myself, that's how I got into energy work. I was a recovering addict. I was in 12-step recovery, working my steps, doing all of that, and really analyzing. And I'm a literal analytical person anyway. I have Pluto in the 4th house in Scorpio. So I really know how to go deep as it is. So all the intellectualizing, I wasn't connecting on an emotional level, and I wasn't getting at the trauma and the energy that was embedded within my field. And it was starting to manifest as like health annoyances. So I started looking into energy healing as a way to start moving some of that energy. And that really started shifting things for me once I did that. So I feel some of you on a similar path. If Reiki is something you're interested in learning, that is something that I teach, as well as Bell Vespita, angelic healing of the heart, working with many dimensional healing, helping to quantum healing, helping to anchor in these new earth energies. So reach out to me if you're interested. If that sounds cool, just trust where you're being drawn. Maybe you're being drawn to study more astrology, human design. There's gene keys. There's so many things out there. Just trust where you're being drawn, because this is all going to assist you in integrating these energies and processing whatever it is that's coming up for you. All right, we're going to pull a couple cards for you. For my clear Virgos. You guys are major processors anyway, right? Being ruled by Mercury. So with this happening in your 3rd house, where you are already ruled by Mercury, there's going to be a really extra intense layer here of that, just a lot of the mind. You want to make sure that, like, you're really going to notice here where it is that your mind is, like we said, with the themes of this moon, your poison versus your medicine. And you're really learning how to make your mind your medicine. For some of you, you're really learning how to communicate with others more effectively as well. And you're seeing sort of what happens when that communication goes awry. Some of you, it's like learning how to communicate your feelings, your needs, your desires. I'm feeling that coming through as well. Some Virgos feel like they shouldn't have desires because you're so focused on the other, being of service to the other, helping other people. We got the 7 of Swords coming out here. And the 5 of Cups. So this is you're processing a lot of my Virgos here. You're processing a deep hurt or betrayal here. Somebody who misrepresented who they were. And for some of you, maybe you're the person who misrepresented. Or maybe it was both. But there's this energy of a deep hurt or betrayal. And it's like, I feel like you felt like you couldn't process it before. It's almost like the energy of like when you want to feel something and you want to heal something, but like it'll just hurt too much. And you know you won't be able to function, and you have responsibilities. You have people that you depend on you. You have things that you have to do, right? You have to keep it moving, so to speak. So you say, I'm going to deal with this later, you know? And you just never did. And this full moon is bringing that up. Whatever that was for you, whoever hurt or betrayed you, whoever it's like you showed yourself to and they didn't accept you or they didn't love you. I feel like for somebody, this is very specific, this message. It's like you showed your true self to somebody, but they didn't show their true self to you. They presented themselves as one thing, open, kind, loving, accepting, tolerant. But when you showed yourself to them, it's like they didn't say anything, but something in the energy shifted between the two of you, and it was never the same. They never treated you the same way. They didn't look at you the same. And it broke your heart, and it wore away at you slowly, piece by piece. And for some of you, maybe you're still involved with this person. I don't know if I'm not, Spirit's not really giving me a specific on that. I don't think it matters. What matters is the pain of that. It's like really processing the pain of that. I think what I'm picking up on more is that you aren't with this person anymore. But it's making it hard to really reveal yourself to anybody else because you're afraid the same thing's going to happen again. Maybe this happened to you a long time ago and you've been unable to really have a deep and intimate connection ever since. We got the Three of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. So this shows me someone's going to be coming into your life, and maybe they're already here and they want to help you heal this wound. But in order for them to do that, you have to trust them. You have to trust them enough to start letting them in. All right. I love you, Virgo. Clear. You are beautiful. You're beautiful. And just because one person didn't value the beauty of who you are doesn't mean that you are any less magical, any less wonderful. All right. I'm not every person's cup of tea. That's okay. Some people don't even like tea, and that's okay too. All right. There's coffee out there. There's energy drinks. There's so many different types of beverages. I want somebody who if I am tea, I want somebody who likes tea. If not, then I'm changing who I am completely in order to be with them. And that's a great disservice to me. And that's what I feel like you've been doing for a really long time. Changing who you were in order to suit the person that you were with because you were afraid of showing your truth, sharing your truth, sharing yourself again, being vulnerable and honest with somebody again, and being rejected once more. And always trying to figure out who the other person really wanted you to be, because you also knew that you couldn't trust people at face value because what people present to you on the surface is not necessarily what they really think or feel. So how exhausting having to judge all of that to try to decide who you need to be at any given point in time. There's a release with this full moon of all of that energy. You get to just be who you are. That's beautiful. Some of you guys might want to travel somewhere. You might feel a real shift in energy if you get out of your immediate environment. If you get around a fresh group of people, some fresh ideas, maybe go to a healing retreat or seminar or something like that. Anything to shake up that energy. And to get yourself around people who understand you. And I guess you won't know until you show them who you truly are, but people who are more likely to understand you, people who won't judge you. Even if it's at first people who are paid not to judge you, right? Like a therapist or somebody who's hosting the seminar or event or something. I don't know. There tends to be actually, I'm not going to say that because that's a generalization. But just get yourself out of your immediate environment, even if you just travel a few hours away to a different town, right? Get yourself in some different energy. Libra, all of my beautiful Libras, this full moon is happening in your second house. This is the Taurus house. This is the house that represents money and wealth and the material world. It also represents what we value as well as how we value ourselves. This is one of those houses where if you're having the full moon here, there are very tangible ways that this energy might show up for you. It might show up for you in a very positive sense, what we would interpret as positive, I guess we would say, of like money coming in, inheritance coming in, major shifts like that happening. It could also show up as scarcity. It could show up as financial fears and worries and fears of not being enough. You're definitely going to be purging those energies, purging those fears of not being good enough, purging any of those mentalities around money and success that are not serving you. If you have been working on manifestation or reality creation for some time, you're really going to be feeling a push in that area. You're going to be shown what has been holding you back. There's some sort of breakthrough with this energy. What's interesting is that in the opposing 8th house, you have the Taurus energy. So this is like a switcheroo of energy here. So you have that Scorpio energy in your 2nd house and the Taurus energy in your 8th house. Typically those signs are reversed. We have Taurus ruling the 2nd and Scorpio ruling the 8th. Scorpio energy is very much about what we have together, about investing together, about other people's money, about what happens when we combine resources. Taurus is about what's mine. So there may be some energies coming up around that, some energies coming up around sharing money, diversifying interests, about having to merge money and feeling uncomfortable with that. Some of you may be in a point where you are perhaps married or getting married or taking your relationship to the next stage. And now it's coming to that point of like, do we combine finances? And you're feeling all this shadow energy come up around that. Like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know, like, how I feel about surrendering that aspect of control or allowing another person into this very personal aspect of my life. And of course, being a Libra, sun, ascendant, whatever sort of drove you to click on this particular timestamp for the Libra horoscope, you have strong Libra in your chart, which means you learn a lot through partnership and connection. The moon is connected to Juno, which also represents partnership and connection. So there's a big emphasis on this. So for some of you guys, it's not marriage or combining resources in that sense. Maybe there's a business partnership that's getting ready to get off the ground. Anything that requires you to take what's yours and combine it with another person's and go from yours to, or mine to ours, right? Me to we. It's that kind of an energy that I'm picking up on here. And all the stuff that represents. There's a need, there's perhaps issues of control, issues of self-sufficiency, fears around either being self-sufficient or losing your sense of self-sufficiency, losing your sense of individuality, your sense of personal sovereignty. A lot of these juxtapositions of energies here when it comes to the merging with another. And particularly, I'm feeling for a lot of people like the finances and that type of aspect, which makes sense with this second house energy. This is also just those energies, bringing up those core energies of self-worth, where you feel worthy, what you feel that you deserve, and exploring any of those shadow energies, any of those wounds related to that, related to when other people made you feel small, when they made you feel as though you weren't worthy. I feel like I'm starting to repeat myself. It's pretty cut and dried. I think with the second house energy, we're going to pull some cards for Libra and see what else we get for you. Clear. This is a lot. I've been talking for a long time. I did the intro and then all of this is the first time I've done all of this in one video like this. Wow. Oh boy, some of you might be feeling that as well, just that exhaustion. Like you've been talking and talking and talking things out and you're just looking for some peace and quiet, looking for some calm. All right, we've got the lunar eclipse coming up with the sun card. So this is deep emotional cleansing with the eclipse card. We have another lunar eclipse coming up in September. We just had one, of course, as well recently. But I don't feel this is talking about a literal eclipse. Although this could be a cleansing process that's been going since March. Since the last eclipse season that we had here. Yeah, I'm feeling a deep emotional cleanse that's been going on since our last eclipse. And I'm going to look this up because my brain, after doing so many of these today, like I'm just going to be 100% honest right now. It's so feeling a little mushy right now. So instead of trying to remember when we had the eclipse, I know we had the Aries eclipse at the end of the month. That was the 29th of March. That was the solar eclipse. And then the lunar eclipse, there we go. That's what I was looking for. The 14th. Lunar eclipse in Virgo at 23 degrees of Virgo. So I feel like that eclipse for you was the start of this purging that's been going on. And it's just getting deeper and deeper as you continue to move through these energies. So this full moon in Scorpio is a big release point for that energy as well. This is where you're finally seeing some type of emotional cycle more clearly. And you're seeing how that relates to your intimate relationships, how that relates to, for some of you, it's intimacy on an emotional level, but also on a physical level, like fears around physical intimacy, getting too close, what happens when you get too close to another. These are all very 8th house themes and energies. So it makes perfect sense that they are coming up and coming through right now. So delving with all of that, understanding where those fears of intimacy and connection come from, where those fears of merging come from, where those fears of giving up your sovereignty. I feel like for some of you, it's like having your own independent finances is like a level of sovereignty and safety. It's like a fail-safe. It's sort of like, and I'm not sure if this literal explanation is going to resonate with somebody watching this, but it's like the person who moves in with somebody that they're dating, but keeps their own apartment just in case. Or maybe to even go back to a couple times a week just to get away and be in their own energy. All right. It's that kind of a thing. It's like, just keeping that escape hatch going. And so somebody coming to you and wanting to merge with you in that way, it's like, whoa, that's a little bit too much. So it's whatever, it's triggering something deeper though. So what is that fear? Why is that fear there? Why am I afraid of that? Why am I afraid? What have I seen? What have I been shown about commitment in my life? About what happens when you, for some of you guys, and this has been coming up in a couple readings, I think this is because we have that dichotomy with the masculine, feminine going on right now. But there's like those ancestral energies of like, particularly for the feminine. Remember, we got Black Moon Lilith active right now. We got Algol and Capulus battling it out. There's a lot of these energies here with the masculine, feminine power struggles, as that energy of when women weren't and the feminine wasn't allowed to own anything or be a sovereign being, and how like being able to work and own land flipped the script for women, like for instance, in the United States, right? And so it's like, holding on to that. For some of you who are feminine, some of that has to do with just that energy. It's like an ancestral thing, not just with your own lineage, but within the land, especially if you live in somewhere like the United States or somewhere where that, and most of the world, right, women have been mistreated, at least in the known history. Right? If we go back beyond that to what is no longer recorded, we'll see where women were revered and there was a balance of masculine, feminine energies and power, which is what we're moving back to. In the meantime, we're kind of going the other way as far as the scales go. And Libra, it's perfect that we're talking about scales, right? Because you are about balance and duality, and the scales in that sense, light and dark, right? There is this energy here of like, it's getting skewed toward the feminine where it was skewed toward the masculine. People are overcompensating this way. Really what we want to do is come back to that equilibrium, which is where we functioned the most harmoniously, right? And it was about embracing the true essence of each of those energies and what they truly are at their core, and living those in harmony with one another, seeing how the masculine and feminine are designed to support each other as opposed to compete with each other. So there's all of that going on, and there's those ancestral fears, those fears embedded into the dirt, the very soil, the land, the earth, right? The tears of the feminine literally soaking the earth. This is so intense. So it's like that is actually playing into your fear of merging financially with somebody else. For other people, it's like the merging the business, and that brings similar fears. And for some, it's just the merging and connecting in general. And what that means, letting yourself be seen by another and really connecting in that way. So there's that, and there's a whole bunch of other emotions surrounding manifestation, creation, self-love, self-worth that are coming to a head. There's so much that's cleansing and clearing. Like we said, likely it began taking place in the middle of March and is continuing to move through here. But we have the sun here. And so this is about authenticity. It's also about truth, beauty, vitality. This is saying embrace that sun conjunct Uranus energy in your opposing 8th house right now. All right. Allow that energy to be your guide. Uranus with the sun and Hygeia, who is the asteroid of healing and health and wellness, is saying like, get out in the sun, let the sun heal you, let your joy, let your inner child heal you, play a little bit. There's a lot of heavy emotional purging that you've been doing for like a couple months now, right? And you're going to probably continue to do for another few months. Sorry. But like, you don't have to be in that energy all the time. For you guys, I feel like things are being revealed to you. You don't have to force the process. Like when you feel those intense waves of energy, ride them out, feel them, purge them, cry, do whatever you need to do. But then like, let yourself have fun. Give yourself permission to have fun, to let things be a little bit more lighthearted. Yeah, Ace of Wands in reverse, needing an outlet. You need an outlet for your energy. You need an outlet for your emotions. There's some really powerful inspiration that wants to come through, but in order to do that, you need to lighten up your energy a little bit. As soon as you lighten up your energy, it's going to allow for like the downloads and the inspiration and all of what's waiting, kind of just sitting on the edge of your field. This feels like a reading I did a little while ago. One of the short tarot readings. It's going to allow all that to kind of come through. So get out there, play a little bit. All right. It's okay to feel the way you feel. It's okay to ask somebody to take things a little bit more slowly if you need time, right? If you're not ready for that next step, that's okay. Don't rush anything. If somebody does try to rush you, then this is just my humble opinion, but they're not the right person for you. Because people should respect, ideally, our own sense of timing. It's not all about their clock. And that urgency comes from somewhere. So where is that urgency coming from? Right? Is it a need to possess? Is it a need to feel like things are locked down? If so, then isn't that exactly what you were afraid of in the first place? Interesting. We could continue going down this rabbit hole, but I'm going to call it for my Libras. I love you so much. I appreciate you. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I was looking because I was shuffling around to look up the eclipse and stuff. Now I'm looking for the rest of my notes here. I'm not going to make you guys sit through this though. Hold on. I love you so much. Scorpio, hello, my beautiful Scorpios. This full moon is in your sign. Black Moon Lilith is in your sign. I didn't mention this in any of the other readings because there's just so much information flying around to cover here. I didn't want to overwhelm people, but we also have Vesta in your sign, the asteroid of home and hearth, and also which connects to our soul flame, that which feeds our soul. I might have actually mentioned this in the beginning description of the energies, but neither here nor there. So we got that going on. We got Black Moon, Lilith, and Vesta. We've also got the moon conjunct the asteroid Juno of partnership and marriage, and Alpha Serpentis. And you are feeling this energy. You've got the heat on you from that Sun-Uranus connection in your 7th house. There's a lot going on with you with relationships, just as there is with Taurus. But with you, there's a real focus on your own process of transformation. So as you transform, as you step into your shadow, as you allow your inner Lilith to take you on a journey into your own personal underworld, you uncover some powerful things that shift your perspective and understanding of yourself, of your world, and naturally begin to shift the energies within your partnerships. This is a time for you where you stop settling for less, where you really stand in your power, particularly your divine feminine power, whether you identify as masculine or feminine, where you really own those aspects of yourself that you used to be afraid to show people, that you used to be afraid to share. And people are really going to be recognizing this process that you're going through. Because it's happening in your first house, in your sign, you're going to have a magnetic energy to you. You're going to draw people in. And there's going to be some real lessons in discernment here around who you want to share in your energy and your space and who you don't. And you're really going to be asked to prune and fine tune your social circle, particularly those who you are deeply and intimately connected with. Is there a giving and receiving of energy here? Is that in balance? Are they poison or medicine? And it sounds really cutthroat to think of things this way, but this is really the way that you need to be thinking of it. You are represented by multiple energies. You are represented by the Scorpion. You are also represented by the Phoenix, and some represent you with the Eagle as well. What's interesting about the Eagle analogy is that your ruling planet, or one of your ruling planets, is conjunct the star Altair right now. Altair is known as the flying eagle. So there's this real opportunity for you to shift through your different archetypes. That Scorpion energy is like the first level of your energy, so to speak, right? That's the energy that contains this. Well, all your energies contain the stinger, right? But where the stinger is more pronounced, where the emotions are, you're more reactive to your emotional nature. The intensity feels maybe less manageable. All right. As you transition into the Phoenix, you start transmuting that pain. You start alchemizing it. As the Scorpion, sometimes you maybe don't want to acknowledge your feelings because they're too intense. It's too much. So you bury them, you hide them. You watch other people, right? You try to discern their motives. You delve into the psychology of others, but maybe sometimes avoid delving into your own psyche until some crisis precipitates that change. That crisis and that transformation that occurs as a result of that crisis is you becoming the Phoenix. And as you become this grand Phoenix, you also merge with the archetype of the eagle. The eagle, it's interesting maybe to some that I'm putting the eagle as like the next level above the Phoenix. But for some reason, that's just how it's feeling. Like the eagle is when you're soaring above everything. You've got that detachment. You've got that vision, that higher spiritual vision. So it's a beautiful process of transformation here. You right now, you know which phase you're at, but many of you are in the phase as the Phoenix who is becoming and transforming into the eagle. So there's something that you are recognizing. There's something that you're honoring within yourself. There's a level, a depth that you're willing to go to now that you haven't been willing to go to before. And it likely does have to do with these themes of authenticity, speaking your truth, standing in your truth. The parts of yourself that you put on the shelf because they weren't acceptable to others. The ways that you may have engaged with people and situations in manners that felt inauthentic to you because you didn't want to lose people, because you didn't want to be alone. There's a lot of deep energies here. Your very vision of yourself and understanding of yourself is transforming here. This is a massive ego death that you are experiencing. And as a result of this, it's like maybe you've been resisting it for a while, but now just throw yourself into it. You're going to totally transform. And then you're going to use that energy and you're going to take it and you're going to transform your relationships. And you're going to give other people that beautiful opportunity to either rise with you into that new frequency or to go their own way and have their own journey. All right, let's see. I'm going to pull from this deck for you, Scorpio. Clear. Definitely shakeups in relationships and partnerships for my Scorpios. Particularly if you feel that you are having difficulty expressing and being and embodying this new version of yourself with the person that you're with. If they're not willing to grow and evolve with you. But this is going to be true for all your connections right now. Got the Three of Pentacles. This has been coming up for a lot of people. The first thing that's coming through is your pain is your teacher. Don't run from your pain. This also, if you meet somebody and they use that phrase, oh, this is interesting. That's somebody that you're meant to connect with. That's for somebody finding this. That is like the phrase that you agreed upon with the soul before you incarnated. That they would say that would jog your memory as to who they were to you. I don't know why I'm being called to reiterate that for you. Maybe your guides are afraid that you're going to forget. I don't know. But your pain is your teacher. Allow your pain to teach you. Don't run from it. It's like if your pain were a fire, instead of running from the fire, throw yourself into the fire. That's the Phoenix. The fire will burn away all that is inauthentic until you stand. I wanted to say like naked in your truth. I don't know why it wanted to come out like that. Something about the vulnerability, the rawness, the honesty. I'm also thinking of like goddesses that are depicted, like fierce goddesses that are depicted completely nude. It's actually interesting. I'm actually thinking of the TV show. I think it was True Blood. And in True Blood, Lilith was the original vampire. And she was naked all the time. And covered in blood originally. She like rose up from the blood or something. I can't fully remember. It's been a while since I've watched True Blood. So Lilith, isn't that interesting with Black Moon Lilith in your sign? So there's something with that energy of you being Lilith. You rising up and being this mythical goddess. She's naked, but like there was power in that because she was in control of her sexual energy. She was in command of it. So there's something with you being in command of your own sexual energy, your own life force energy here, coming into a deeper understanding and ownership of that, who you share that aspect of yourself with. Some of you guys, you're aligning to meet a divine partner, a divine counterpart, because you've already gone through that phase of weeding out those who weren't on your level. You've perhaps gone through a period of solitude, even celibacy, and now you're drawing in that divine counterpart. So that's really exciting for some of you. For others of you, there's like mentors, there's other people. I see you like teaming up with other people, like study groups or something like that, learning with other people, collaborating with other people on projects and ideas. Possibly around healing, around some of these themes. So you could be learning different healing modalities, or studying different healing modalities, or I don't even know how this is going to work, but I just see you collaborating and learning with other people, creating with other people, maybe creating a course, legacy, just building something really beautiful together. I don't know why I'm shuffling. I guess I'm getting you one more card. Get the Six of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles here. It was reversed, but I don't know. Yes, so rest. Make sure you're getting plenty of rest, especially around this time. There's a lot coming through. We didn't even talk about the energetic upgrades going on with this full moon. So make sure that you get the rest that you need. Don't push yourself too hard. And like, I feel a lot of this energy of giving and receiving, maybe benefactors coming in. If you're looking for investors in your business, you might find those. Or this is about something that you're building and creating that is there to serve other people, it's like a humanitarian energy. I'm feeling Aquarius energy here. And you may be building that with other people. It's really, really beautiful. Just don't burn yourself out doing it. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself as well. That's the energy coming through. And if you are signing contracts and different things like that, make sure that you get a full night's rest before you make any of those big decisions. Meditate and get a full night's rest. Some of you guys may want to learn about your human design, because I know some of the designs are meant to. Like, I know my human design is meant to process everything emotionally before making a decision. And there's one that's supposed to wait like a whole lunar cycle. But yeah, maybe you want to learn more about that too. But those are just some additional messages there. All right. Sagittarius, this full moon is occurring in your 12th house. This is one of the houses of the soul, along with the 8th house that Scorpio rules, and the 4th house ruled by Cancer. So these are the water houses. The 12th house is the Pisces house. This is the Neptunian house. This is the house of dreams and illusion, of your undoing sometimes. There's a lot going on in this house. It's past life karma. It's the unconscious. It's the collective consciousness. It's where things come together, unify, become surreal in a sense. So this is going to be a highly spiritual full moon for you. Definitely the ego death energy is real for you. You're being asked to surrender some aspect of yourself that is ready to die. This, for some of you, has to do with an attachment to trauma, an attachment to the stories that are basically like permission slips for your limitations. And what I mean by that is you say, well, I can't do this because of that. Well, this thing happened to me, and so I'm unable to X, Y, and Z. It's like that sort of thing. Like rehashing your traumas, using them. And I know this sounds harsh. I don't mean for it to be harsh. I've been doing this video for a long time. So the sugar and spice, I'm more spice right now. All right. But I say this all out of love. But essentially, it's like that energy of, at this point, they're just excuses. It's that rehashing the pain and the trauma and getting stuck in those cycles instead of moving forward. It's time to move forward. It's time to release that story. That story is no longer you. You are ready to graduate. You are ready to move beyond that energy. So this is really bringing to a head any issues of addiction, of escapism, of powerlessness and victimization, all of those energies and all of the deep, dark complexity that comes with that. You are being given an opportunity to set yourself free from all of that. You're also being given an opportunity to heal this and clear this on multiple timelines and multiple realities through multiple versions of you. So this is really, really big stuff. The angels are surrounding you. They are helping you. This is the house of the angels and the angelics. So work with that energy. Call upon the angels to guide you as you move through this transformation. I'm feeling Uriel. I'm feeling Archangel Michael. I'm feeling Gabriel. I'm feeling Ariel. I'm feeling Jophiel. Raphael, whoever you are particularly aligned with, they're all coming through now. Raziel, they're like, we're here. Like, just call on who you need. And if you don't know, just call on them all. Some of you guys may want to book a Belvespita angelic healing to the heart with me. That may be very helpful for you at this time. There's so much that you're being able to clear and release here, and you're tapping into a whole nother level of your psychic and spiritual power. So you may be having crazy dreams right now. You may be having dreams, and Spirit's saying some of these dreams are past or concurrent lives or realities, and you're traveling to these. And also like past events, you're traveling to these realities, you're traveling to these past events to collect pieces of your soul, to collect pieces of your energy that fractured off in those timelines. So it's a lot of like revisiting in your dreams, maybe even just randomly throughout the day. You're finding yourself thinking of certain things about the past. It's because you're integrating that energy and integrating that aspect of yourself that was sort of lost in that timeline. So this is really beautiful, powerful energy for my Sagittariuses. Let's get a couple cards here and see what else Spirit wants you to know. Clear. You also are perhaps being called to a higher level of service right now, and you're going to know what that level is. And this is like the piece of healing or the shift that you needed in your own energy to be able to be of service in whatever ways it is that you are wanting to be of service right now. This is a time where you're looking at revolutionizing your daily habits and routines, where you may have some event kind of shaking that energy up with Uranus and the sun in that 12th house right now in order to break you out of a rut. If you've gotten into a rut with any of your energy in Sagittarius, you abhor a rut, right? You are all about variety and spontaneity. And so if life has lost some of the spice, if you're getting bogged down in daily routines, there is a break coming for that, or an invitation to break up that energy, to break up that monotony in some way. We've got the Four of Wands, the Four of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Page of Wands. So 2 4s here. So there's something with stability here. Yeah, this is just what I was saying. This is what appears to be that happy life, happy ending. But there's dissatisfaction, there's boredom, it's become stagnant, it's become routine. It's like you're living in somebody else's fairy tale is almost what I want to say for some of you. And so there's an opportunity that comes to shake you out of your I almost wanted to say psychosis, but to shake you out of this just going through the motions kind of energy that inspires you in a new direction. So something, it's like that fun, that excitement is being re-injected into your life. So that's really beautiful energy. But first, and then we got the 10 of Cups. True fulfillment, ultimate fulfillment. But first, there's a need to be honest with yourself about what got you into that rut in the first place. How did you end up there? Right? How do you, like, what was going on? What allowed for this to happen? Why? What fears were holding you back? What perceived limitations? Did this have to do with a duty to other people? Is there a way that you can still fulfill those same duties without compromising your own happiness, your own well-being? There's going to be a lot of energies and themes around self-sacrifice that you are perhaps clearing at this time. Clear and moving through. All right, one last card here. Yeah. This energy, it's this energy of recognizing and understanding where it is that you have been your own enemy, where you have essentially trapped yourself. And once you get the awareness of this, there's an opportunity here to set yourself free. Hello, my beautiful Capricorns. This full moon is taking place in your 11th house, the house of dreams, hopes, aspirations, networking, friends, connections, social circles. So this is where you're going to see the themes of intensity occurring for you personally. If there has been anything that has been holding you back from acknowledging the truth about what it is that you really want and desire, your true hopes and aspirations for your life, as well as who within your realm is supportive of those desires and who is perhaps less supportive, this full moon is going to make a lot of that clear, and it's going to help you purge some of those fears that may have been limiting you or holding you back from being honest about who you are, what you want, and honestly, what it is that you're willing to do in order to get it. We're going to pull some cards here and see what else the cards have to say. Clear. Regarding this 11th house energy and what themes might be playing out within your friendships and connections here. The Sun and Uranus are opposite this energy in your 5th house. So this has to do with children, creativity, play, love, and dating. So you may have energies taking place there as well. We have the 2 of Pentacles with the, what is this? The 9 of Swords. So you may be juggling a lot right now. You may be struggling with figuring out how to balance things. You may just be excessively stressed out. We got the Devil on the bottom of the deck. This is your card. So it could simply be with you being in your own energy, but I'm feeling this as more like taking on too much and needing to figure out what to release, what to let go. Maybe you have a lot of commitments, a lot of organizations that you're a part of. For some of you guys, if you have children, this could have to do with children too, like the PTA, the this and the that. It could have to do with other causes that you align yourself with. It could have to do with like, oh, if you have a lot of jobs, right? Capricorn, you are an ambitious sign. Whatever it is, it's like you've bitten off more than you can chew and you need to step it down a little bit. That's why this full moon is really going to help you look at, what do I truly want? Right? And what are my motives and intentions behind the things that I'm doing? Is some of this just about social climbing? Is some of this just about the prestige involved with certain titles? Is it about proving to myself that I'm good enough by accomplishing these things? Do I really have anything to prove? So there's like a deeper level of self-love and self-acceptance that is really the key to this energy, because once you have nothing left to prove to yourself, once you know that you are worthy simply because you are, you're no longer you don't have to be part of the rat race. You don't have to overcommit yourself. You don't have to be Superman or Superwoman. That's kind of what I feel like this energy is. What you feel, and this is very common for Capricorn. You don't have to be Superman or Superwoman. All right? And you can be that without doing all the stuff that you're doing. I guess that's a better way to put it. All right. So it's, for some of you, this is that Captain Save-A-Ho kind of energy too. So if there is codependency issues, if you are being stretched too thin because you're trying to save people, you're trying to help too many people who aren't helping themselves, this is your call to cut those cords as well. And to really use this moon to go deep into understanding what wound or what energy draws these people to me. What energy draws me into these situations? What energy makes me feel like I have to be the solution to every problem? Like I have to show up. There's a lot of Virgo energy here. There's a lot of 12th house energy here, Pisces energy here. So you guys may have those signs in your chart or be dealing with people with those signs, particularly Pisces here. Gemini maybe. Just, it's really giving yourself permission to not have to take care of everybody else all the time and to take care of yourself a little bit too. Yeah, we got Judgment and the 3 of Wands. You're being called toward your vision right now. You're being called to put down the vision that other people told you should want. The vision that looks good on paper. Perhaps the vision that the old version of you in the old timeline wanted. or the vision for your life, the dream for your life that other people had or that you thought would make other people happy. Your own vision is crystallizing right now. You feel it like a flutter in your heart. That flutter is getting louder and it's starting to form words, emotions, feelings, images. So sit, meditate, connect with that feeling. Allow that feeling to expand. Get that alone time. This is that Virgo energy here with the Hermit. All right. That's the key. That's the key to your fulfillment. You've been searching for fulfillment everywhere, except where you're really going to find it, which is within yourself and within this true passion. It might not be the one that makes you the most money initially. It might not be the one that gets you the most pats on the back. It might not be the one that makes everybody else in your life happy. All right. But it's the one that lights that fire in your soul. Black Moon Lilith conjunct Vesta in Scorpio. Okay. That is the energy of tending to our soul's flame, our true soul's flame. Maybe you come from a traditional background and what it is that you're truly passionate about is very non-traditional. It's going to ruffle some feathers in your family or in your social circles. That's okay. Maybe you came here to ruffle those feathers. All right. Let your intuition guide you and bring through the clarity. And make your next moves. Yeah, you're here to shake things up. You're here to shake things up and it's time to stop playing small. Clear. Capricorn, that is the boss energy. All right. Got that Scorpio card on the bottom of the deck. Endings. Something needs to end here. Many things need to end. All right. Put down the burdens. Put down the extra baggage, right? The extraneous commitments. Stop living your life for other people or for the ideal that you think you need to fulfill and start living it for yourself, for the truth within your heart. Some of you guys, I think I'm getting this energy that you came from a background of poverty. And so you've been charted a course that's going to make you very financially prosperous, that's going to allow you to take care of your family and the people that you want to take care of because nobody was there to take care of you the way that you needed or deserved. And that's beautiful, but it's not fulfilling you. And it's stressing you out. It's not sustainable. You are resourceful. You are resilient. Once you start moving toward this course that you're more passionate about, it may not immediately appear to generate the same money, income level, but just understand that the energies are shifting on the planet. Service-oriented careers are going to be more valued. Heart-centered creative pursuits, spiritually aligned pursuits. The whole frequency of money, the whole frequency of the way that we determine value is shifting and changing. Like, work on cultivating the vibration of abundance as opposed to like what a textbook tells you is going to make you rich. All right? Be rich within your soul, be rich within your being. This is what I'm working on right now. And then the money will follow and you won't have to do something that sucks away your soul or that bores you out of your mind in order to get it. And you can still take care of the people you love, but you can also allow them to learn how to take care of themselves to a certain extent so they develop the same type of resilience and self-sufficiency that you have, because that is valuable too. All right. Love you, Capricorn. Aquarius, here we go. Aquarius, this full moon is happening in your 10th house. Get ready for major shifts and developments in your career, in your reputation, your social standing. If there is anything sort of below the belt that's been going on, there is a high likelihood there is a big energy of secrets being revealed and coming to the surface. So just be prepared for that. Know that, understand that. I'm also feeling for somebody, it's like, secrets coming to light that actually benefit you where other people are being shady, and it possibly benefits you in your career. It's this real kind of like a reward in a sense for remaining in your integrity is sort of one way that we could look at this energy. So there's a lot of deep developments there. There's also maybe like soul searching kind of energy that may be going on for you, where you're really looking at your career. And this could be similar to the energy that I just read for Capricorn, who is the native to the 10th house. So you might want to check out the Capricorn reading as well, especially if you have Capricorn in your chart strongly, of looking at what you're doing and judging whether it really resonates with you or not. There's also this energy of these deep purges relating to any residual fears or energies that are preventing you from really being at the top of your game and from really excelling in whatever area of life or career you've chosen. If you have not chosen a career yet, this may be a time where you feel that extra push to start your own business, to put yourself out there, to get your name out there in some sort of sense, or where you do become more known. With Uranus conjunct the sun in your 4th house, there may be some major shifts and change-ups going on in your home life, with your family. Some of this may be very unexpected, maybe unexpected moves, maybe just a lot of you looking back at your childhood, back at the way that you were raised and saying like, I want to do something completely different. I don't want to be in that energy anymore. Maybe I don't want to raise my children like that. Maybe like I'm ready to transform from this energy to break free from sort of the conditioning of my family that's been holding me back. And somehow maybe that's being expressed or reflected through your 10th house energies, through your career. And maybe people are even noticing this. I feel like this maverick energy that Uranus conjunct the sun is bringing through for everybody is maybe causing other people to look at you and be like, wow, she's overcame her circumstances, or he, whatever, he. They overcame their circumstances. They were born into this family, but look what they're doing with themselves. Or they are not allowing X, Y, and Z to dictate their choices and who they are in their life. So there's like this, you're inspiring people to also go against the grain, to also be the black sheep in a sense, to also strike out on their own, to reinvent themselves. There's this powerful energy of reinvention. This may also look like you renovating your home or doing something different like that with those Uranus and sun energies there. Some of you may be struggling with energies around how to balance home and career, the demands of both, and some of the shadow elements that are coming up within that. Some of that's the Cancer Capricorn axis is a challenging one. This is also the axis of parenting, how we parent ourselves. So it's heavy. You may be grappling with a lot of those parental energies. Maybe there are control or power dynamics going on between you and a father figure. Could be a mother, but it's more likely a father type figure or authority figure. Maybe you're dealing with your own energies related to power, related to authority, either you being a power or authority, or how it is that you have related to those in positions of power and authority, which of course translates into your own ability to be of power and authority. If you've had really negative experiences with that, maybe you connotate being powerful and having power over others in a sense as being bad, the same way that a lot of people connect money with a negative energy because of the ways that money is used and abused and the ways that it has been used to control society and people. So it's like breaking yourself out of that, seeing power, seeing status in a different light, and seeing the potentials of what you can do with that in a positive way. And also understanding your relationship to authority and how that has shaped who you are, how that has shaped your choices, your actions, your reactions, and how you can configure that energy. If your relationship to authority is having negative repercussions in your life. We have that when we talked about the father figure energy. That doesn't just need to be a literal father. We talked about the energy with Black Moon Lilith and Algol, the Lilith star, versus Capulus. We talked about Black Moon Lilith and Scorpio, and just all these energies with the masculine and feminine interplay and the ways those energies have been put at odds with each other. So this could have to do with any type of relationship to masculine energy or the power over dynamic, and really exploring the wounds around that, healing and cleansing and clearing some of those wounds so that you can really work with that energy within your own being and command it in a way that really speaks to Altair's energy, the fixed star Altair, which is conjunct Pluto right now within the sign of Aquarius, which is that energy of visionary leadership, power with versus power over. There's like, that is the leadership and the energy that we're moving into. That is the energy that you, Aquarius, are meant to embody on this planet and bring through those beautiful Uranian ideas about, right? And so first it starts with you getting a good relationship with the energy of power in general, clear, and seeing how that can be used in a beneficial sense. All right, what else do we have for Aquarius here? All right, we have the Ace of Wands coming out with the Queen of Cups and the Page of Swords. So this is an inspired idea. Something within the emotional realm, the divine feminine perhaps. I feel like for some of you, there's going to be a feminine energy or essence in your life who comes through with some type of idea, who speaks something to you, maybe even in casual conversation, that sparks a really powerful idea within you. I feel like some of you are doing a lot of research right now too. You're learning a lot about something, or you're about to learn a lot about something or someone. You're educating yourself. Maybe for some of you, this is somebody you're thinking about partnering with or going into business with. But there's a lot of inspiration here, and Spirit's saying the inspiration is going to come through. It's like, for some, it's that other person, right? For others, it's like, yes, researching and delving into ideas and topics, but then sitting and meditating on them and allowing the conscious mind to wander. Aquarius is a very psychic energy. You are connected to Uranus, who, like we said, is conjunct the sun, and Hygeia right now, who represents health and wellness and healing. Give me a little bit more about this. Got the Three of Pentacles. Everybody's been getting this card here. This is collaboration, teamwork. I just heard teamwork makes the dream work. Yeah, some of you guys are definitely thinking about teaming up with somebody. For others of you, you're learning more about how to work with your own feminine energy, and somebody's going to be teaching you how to do this, to work with your feminine energy, to work with your emotions, to heal your emotions. The Page of Swords can represent youth as well. Discovery. Spirit saying, be open to discovering new layers of yourself, new layers of your being, new ways of interacting with others and the world that are more heart-based, that are more feminine, more feminine ways of manifestation, even of creation. Let yourself become teachable again. There's something that you're meant to learn that's going to really bring you forward in leaps and bounds when it comes to career, when it comes to something that you're wanting to accomplish here. And I feel like you've been trying to go at it alone, but you're about to learn the power of collaboration and working with others. Maybe you're about to connect with people who have the same ideals, the same values, the same vision, and work together. And I'm feeling the energy of, who was I reading for? Libra, maybe? It might have been Libra. You might want to check out the Libra reading. I think that had something to do with some of these energies too, and some of the fears coming up around creating a partnership with someone. A lot of that was to do with romance and love, but it was also business partnership. But we got the Nine of Pentacles, or the Nine of Cups, and the Eight of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. So I feel like working with people, teaming up with people, even getting like a support buddy, or like somebody to keep you motivated, keep you in check with whatever you're doing, is going to help you stay accountable, and it's really going to help you grow. So looking into that is going to be, I think, really beneficial for you. You guys can be, even though you are about collectives, you're also very much a lone wolf energy. So this may be a time to step out of your comfort zone and start collaborating and working with others. Yeah, 10 of Pentacles came through as I was shuffling here. All right, I love you, Aquarius. Thank you. Clear. All right, Pisces. My beautiful, beautiful Pisces. This eclipse, or sorry, full moon, I keep calling it eclipse because it's so powerful. This full moon is occurring in your 9th house. This is the house of travel, higher learning, morals, values, integrity, optimism, expansion, all of these beautiful Jupiterian energies, which very much coincide with your energy and flavor. Jupiter was the ruler of Pisces before Neptune was discovered. So you're very at home within this 9th house energy, these Jupiterian energies. Scorpio energy, on the other hand, they're another water sign, but that's fixed water. Scorpio is a little bit intense. Pisces energy, you guys don't really like to get that. You feel very deeply, but it's a more transcendental type of feeling a lot of times. Digging deep into it, really getting into the nitty gritty, deep, dark emotionality of things is not something you guys are typically about. I know these are generalizations, right? But so this full moon is going to be uncomfortable just because it's happening in Scorpio, just because it's making you go deeper, just because it's really revealing with that 9th house energy, deep-seated belief systems, deep-seated ideologies and perspectives that need to be rooted out. For some of you guys, this is also clearing for you trauma around religion, programming around religion through this life or past lives. You guys represent the end of the zodiac, the 12th house, the Neptune, the completion. So you're very much connected to past lives, the 12th house, all of that energy. So there may be past lives where you were victimized, or you felt powerless because of religion, because of other people's beliefs and ideals. And some of that energy may be clearing, purging, and flushing out for you. You may also, like we said, be just struggling with or getting a look at some of your own more deeply entrenched belief systems and beginning to see how those are not serving you, and getting an opportunity, if you're willing to really delve into wherever this full moon is taking you on an emotional level. You're going to be able to clear a lot, and you're going to be able to reset some of these energies and begin exploring new ways of seeing yourself, new ways of seeing the world and interacting with the world around you. Clear. You may also be learning, you've got that axis with the 3rd house here ruled by Gemini. You may be learning a lot about communication as well. You may be learning a lot about miscommunication, about what happens when you don't communicate your true wants, needs, and feelings, and perhaps expect other people to be as empathic as you are, as intuitive as you are, which they are not always. So there may be a lot coming up around that, wounds coming up around that, not being seen, not being heard. We got the Star card coming out with the 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, so healing a lot of this energy too. And this is also Aries energy, Sedna, which is in the sign of Gemini. So many ways that we see this energy here. This energy of being left out of the cold. This is Lilith energy, right? This energy of not being wanted, of not being accepted. So it's healing that energy. Healing for some of you guys, this has to do with scarcity complex when it comes to money, when it comes to love, when it comes to abundance, when it comes to like depriving yourself. I'm feeling these very Saturnian energies, and Saturn is in your sign right now in those final degrees, right? Of depriving yourself, feeling like punishing, self-effacing or punishing behavior almost. So there's like a healing coming through for that as well, where it's like maybe you're the one who's been judging yourself too harshly. Maybe your parents, your family judged you very harshly when you were growing up, maybe your siblings or friends, right? And there's this energy of like that inner critic, and realizing and recognizing where that inner critic is constantly playing on a loop in your mind, maybe even where that comes from, and being willing to release it, essentially, to surrender it. You are the sign of surrender. Doesn't mean it comes naturally. A lot of times, right? Like whatever our signs' energies are, those are the things we came to learn, not the qualities we naturally possess. All right. A lot of times, unfortunately, we tend to innately possess a lot of the more negative ones. And we have to grow into and evolve into the positive aspects right? It's just the way it goes for everyone. But we're looking at this energy too of healing from those energies of powerlessness, those energies of feeling victimized, of feeling like you just couldn't get ahead, like the deck was stacked against you. There's a shifting of that, but it's all about taking ownership of those energies, taking ownership of your own power. That's so much what Neptune in Aries, now Neptune, your ruling planet, is moving into the sign of Aries. It's so much about that. Us taking responsibility and control of our destiny through taking responsibility for our energy. So there's a great shift in energy. There's a great opportunity for healing. If you're willing to feel what's coming up, if you're willing to work through it, if you're willing to acknowledge the hard truths. But it's also like, let yourself feel. Because some of my Pisces too, like, it's like you don't necessarily want to admit that you feel these super negative emotions sometimes. But when we repress it, what happens? It comes out sideways, or it gets played out to us in the world around us. So there's this energy of like, if you feel hurt, if you feel betrayed, if you feel like you were left out in the cold, let yourself fully feel it. Let yourself cry. And I know some of you were saying, Cassie, I can't do that. I'll be in bed for 5 days. And I wanted to say be in bed for 5 days, but unfortunately, I wish I could too. Most of us don't have that luxury. You know what I mean? So I'm just being real here. But carve yourself out some time to feel that, or at least acknowledge that it's coming up. Even if you don't sit there rocking back and forth with tears streaming down your face and candles and sage burning. You know what I mean? Like, just when those feelings start coming up, instead of pushing them down or being like, no, I don't really feel that way. No, but X, Y, and Z. Just like, be like, okay, that's there. It's okay that I feel that. It's okay that I'm hurt. It's okay that I feel betrayed. But also, my feelings are not facts. They are a piece of the puzzle. They are my reaction to a certain situation, typically based on a deeper trauma. So what is that deeper trauma? And we don't always need to know. Sometimes we can just set that intention and be willing to surrender it. To let go of the stories. This came through, I forget, it was the sign, I think, that had the third house, which was Virgo. Of course, your opposing sign. So Virgo had this too. You might want to watch the Virgo reading. This energy of, and I also heard in your rising sign, if you're watching this for your sun sign, it was that energy of, what was Virgo? Because Virgo's was the third house. I can't remember now. Watch the Virgo one, because whatever I was about to talk about was in the Virgo reading. All right. Clear. I love you so much, Pisces. Thank you for being here with me. You are so beautiful. Your energy is so appreciated. It's so absolutely such a gift to be connected to a Pisces and all that beautiful etheric energy that you bring through into this world. This world is, it was built for the sensitives, for the mystics, for the romantics. Then it was infringed upon, right? It was flipped upside down. Now we're flipping it back right side up. It is becoming that beautiful place, that beautiful dreamscape, that beautiful heaven on earth. And all of my Pisces and all of us, and regardless of what sign we are, when we connect to that Piscean energy, we draw in that beautiful frequency of the new earth. It's beautiful to be a dreamer. It's beautiful to be an idealist. I guess that's why I'm going off on this diatribe here. I wasn't really sure why I was doing this, but just to remind you how beautiful that is. It's beautiful to be vulnerable. It's beautiful to feel. Sometimes it can feel like a curse rather than a blessing, right? And there is a place for that energy. There is a place for you in this world. I think this is for one specific person that really needed to hear that. Who really feels like there's no place for them left in this world. They don't want to be here anymore. I see you. I love you. I honor you. You are so needed. You are so needed. Whatever you are going through, whatever you are experiencing, your soul knew that you could rise up from that experience. This is the moon of the Phoenix. All right, this is the moon of the serpent, of rebirth, of alchemy, of transformation. Whatever your medicine was that has turned into your poison, whatever poison is ready to be extracted, let it be extracted. Let it go. Surrender it. I just was, the one last thing here, reminded of a quote from 12-Step. They used to say, like, holding on to resentment is like drinking poison, expecting the other person to die. Let go of all that resentment if you're feeling it. Could be resentment to the world for being unfair. Could be resentment towards certain people. It's not serving you. Or don't. I mean, none of us have to do anything, but that's, you know, that's what's coming through. There's a powerful energy of forgiveness here. It's a powerful energy of release that is wanting to happen, that's been long overdue. And it's probably going to come out as a huge barrage or flood of anger and frustration and beating fists, and that's okay. You know, try to do it in a safe environment. Try not to take it out on anybody else, but let it go. Honestly, I hate to be the one to say this, but if you've got to take it out on somebody else, you need to get this out. Just get it out and apologize later. Ideally, don't do that, but like, get it out. It's like you've reached maximum capacity. It's that scorpionic energy of the volcano that slowly builds and then erupts. All right. So you need to erupt. You need to let it all out. As soon as you do, it's like you transform. The energy shifts. All right. So whatever crutch you've been using, whatever you've been doing to prevent yourself from reaching that point, it's like you've been using coping mechanisms that have kept you this far away from exploding, but have kept it, like, dialed it back just enough so that you're able to maintain and keep moving forward without completely blowing up. But what you need to do is put those mechanisms down and just let yourself blow up, because that's the release that you need. That's the release that you're looking for. That's the only release that's going to do anything. All right. I love you infinitely, and I'll talk to you soon.